Yahuwah, you started this rhythm before I could bloom. You formed me in secret inside my mother's womb. A tiny little heartbeat now sings out your praise, keeping perfect rhythm through all of my days. 70, 80, 100 times it goes, every minute, every hour, nobody knows. All through the day, in the middle of the night, you keep it steady, holding me tight. Every beat, I give it back to you. Thank you for the pump that carries life on through, protected by bones like a strong, sturdy cage, sitting right in the middle so the brain gets its way. I don't control it, but I sure feel the love. Every single heartbeat comes from above. Praise you, Yahuwah, for this gift in my chest. Every beat says, thank you. You're simply the best. It don't get tired when I run or I play. Keeps pushing the good stuff all through the day. Up to my head so my thoughts can be clear. Down to my toes so I can walk without fear. You placed it just perfect, not too high, not too low. Wrapped it up safe where the hard bones can show. I breathe and it answers, I rest and it's slow. Such a smart little worker that nobody knows. Every beat, I give it back to you. Thank you for the pump that carries life on through, protected by bones like a strong, sturdy cage, sitting right in the middle so the brain gets its wage. I don't control it, but I sure feel the love. Every single heartbeat comes from above. Praise you, Yahuwah, for this gift in my chest. Every beat says, thank you. You're simply the best. When I'm laughing, it races. When I'm scared, it jumps fast. When I'm sleeping, it whispers, I got you at last. No batteries needed, no wires in sight. You spoke it to life and it's working just right. Millions of beats since the day I was born. Each one a reminder I'm never alone. From the first little flutter till the day I go home. Every beat is yours and yours alone. Every beat, I give it back to you. Thank you for the pump that carries life on through, protected by bones like a strong, sturdy cage, sitting right in the middle so the brain gets its wage. I don't control it, but I sure feel the love. Every single heartbeat comes from above. Praise you, Yahuwah, for this gift in my chest. Every beat says, thank you. You're simply the best. You're simply the best. So here's my simple promise with this heart you made new. Every beat I'll use it to love and serve you. When it's pumping strong or slowing way down, I'll remember the maker wearing the crown. Thank you for the rhythm, the life and the flow, for keeping it running so my spirit can grow. Yahuwah, my father, my healer, my friend. Every beat of my heart says amen again. Every beat, belongs to you. Every beat, thank you, Yahuwah. I love you too. Who am I, beloved, the architect of me? You knit my first breath in the womb's mystery. Heart pounding rhythms like a lover's own drum. Lungs pulling 𝐉𝐄𝐄 with each breath that you sung. Limbs that can reach, embrace and create. A brain beyond silicone wiring that radiate. Every neuron firing in exquisite design. Thank you for the masterpiece that whispers you're mine. This is my love song, my heart poured out true. Every cell in my body is singing to you. For life in these veins, for the wonder within. I love you, Yahuwah, forever, amen. Skin that knits wounds like a merciful seal. Touch that warms heart so the body can heal. I'm yours in the quiet, yours in the storm. My whole being a letter, in your image transformed. Ears tuned to frequencies, catching your song in the wind. Tongue shaping waves, my praise I sing. Eyebrows that arch when the soul wants to speak. Fingerprints swirling so nothing slips from my grip. Digesting the manna, eyes drinking the light. Immune armies marching through day and through night. Kidneys that filter liver that cleanses the stream. 1,000 hidden miracles in this living dream. This is my love song, my heart poured out true. Every cell in my body is singing to you. For life in these veins, for the wonder within. I love you, Yahuwah, forever, amen. Skin that knits wounds like a merciful seal. Touch that warms hot so the body can heal. I'm yours in the quiet, yours in the storm. My whole being a letter, in your image transformed. Balancing the inner ear when the world starts to spin. Hormones conducting the symphony within. Tears that wash sorrow and signal the heart. Memories library storing each merciful part. The way lungs expand and the blood cells transport. Oxygen dancing in a covenant waltz. You didn't just make me, you love me alive. Every function a reason my ruach will thrive. This is my love song, my heart poured out true. Every cell in my body is singing to you. Oh, for life in these veins, for the wonder within. I love you, Yahuwah, forever, amen. Skin that knits wounds like a merciful seal. Touch that warms hot so the body can heal. I'm yours in the quiet, yours in the storm. My whole being a letter, in your image transformed. So here is my vow, etched deeper than bone, to walk in your ways and make your love known. For the gut that digests, the smile that conveys, the sweat that cools, and the voice that obeys. Thank you for everything seen and unseen. This body, this life, this breath in between. My love, let it back in actions and song. Yahuwah, my everything, to you I belong. This is my love song, my heart poured out true. My heart poured out true. Every cell in my body is singing to you. For life in these veins, for the wonder within. I love you, Yahuwah, forever, amen. Skin that knits wounds like a merciful seal. Touch that warms hot so the body can heal. I'm yours in the quiet, yours in the storm. My whole being a letter, in your image transformed. citizens obey and take their father's hand. Yeah. They labeled it a heavy yoke, a chain around the neck, but Yahuwah calls it life itself. Protect, provide, direct. Easy on the weary, simple for the child to see. 4 simple words: love me, love my family. Not bondage, it's breath. Not burden, it's light. Yahuwah's laws are the rhythm that makes wrong turn right. Those who want to truly live God, every command, kingdom citizens obey and take their father's hand. No starving ox while he plows your field for grain. No beating up the disabled, his mercy stays the same. No roadkill on your table, no blood upon your plates. His ways are pure protection, never ever hate. Not bondage, it's breath. Not burden, it's light. Yahuwah's laws are the rhythm that makes wrong turn right. Those who want to truly live God, every command, kingdom citizens obey and take their father's hand. Yeah, they scream legalism while the world falls apart. Family shattered, governments corrupt from the start. But the Torah is the glue that holds a nation tall. Remove it and watch Babylon rise, and watch the righteous fall. Not bondage, it's breath. Not burden, it's light. Yahuwah's laws are the rhythm that makes wrong turn right. Those who want to truly live God, every command, kingdom citizens obey and take their father's hand. It's not about perfection, it's about direction true. A heart that says your will, not mine, that's what he's asking you. Easy, yes, life-giving, more than words can say. The lawless call it chains, the wise call it the way. Not bondage, it's breath. Not burden, it's light. Yahuwah's laws are the rhythm that makes wrong turn right. Those who want to truly live God, every command, kingdom citizens obey and take their father's hand. Not bondage, it's breath. Not bondage, it's breath. From dusk to dusk, your light remains. Yahuwah Tsevaot, break every chain. 6 days we labor, we sow and we reap, but the 7th is yours, a covenant deep. Remember the Shabbat day to set it apart. Shemath 28. Set apart, a sign between me and you. From the 7th day, when creation was new. No fire, no burden, no buying or trade. On Yahuwah's Shabbat, my soul is unmade, to be remade. This is your throne. This is my home.
And on the seventh day Elohim ended his work and rested.
Not by the moon, not by the sun's rays, but by your word I find my place. You gave the manna a double supply, no gathering in the field, just lift your eyes, see.
Because Yahuwah has given you the Shabbat, remain every man in his place.
Set apart, a sign between me and you. From the seventh day, when creation was new. No fire, no burden, no buying or trade. On Yahuwah's Shabbat, my soul is unmade to be remade in your rest alone. This is your throne. This is my home.
It is a sign between me and the children of Yasharahel forever.
Shema 38, they traded your truth for days of their own, but I'll keep your Shabbat before your throne. Not a love stone, but a wedding vow. The seventh day rest, I receive it now.
Do not kindle a fire in any of your dwellings on the Shabbat day.
Set apart, a sign between me and you. From creation's dawn, through the world made new. No yoke of slavery, no fear, no fear, no fear, no haste. On Yahuwah's Shabbat I taste and gaze. You are my rest, my delight, my peace. Your Shabbat stands and will not cease.
If you turn back your foot from the Shabbat, then you shall delight yourself in Yahuwah.
So let the shofar sound at the close of the sixth. Let the candles be lit, let the praises be fixed. No scroll of death, no work of my hand. I enter your rest as you commanded.
6 days' work is done, but the seventh is a Shabbat of rest, set apart.
Set apart, set apart, set apart, set apart, set apart. Between me and you, a perpetual sign. The seventh day, Kodesh, forever mine. Yahuwah, Yahuwah, my rest, my son, Shabbat, forever, where I belong.
Therefore, Yahuwah
Baruch the Shabbat day and set it apart. Shemoth 28.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. My name is Jason.
I'm Caden. I'm Jaden.
I'm Nicole.
I'm Eli.
And we are the Yahuwah and the Torah YouTube channel. And we can't thank you guys enough for being a part of this. Now, this is a legendary reading that we have right here because we are probably the most censored Torah-based channel on YouTube. Now, I can't say that we're most censored because I guess if we were, you wouldn't be hearing from us at all. But we are very censored in terms that we really can't go live. And we have tried to go live now a couple weeks. And whenever we say things that make the eyebrows of the powers that be raise, then they shut off the stream. And so this is the day and age where truth is a very, very interesting thing to wield, because we know that the world hates the truth. And the truth is in the Torah. The truth is in the first 5 books of scriptures. And this is what the religious system, the entire religious system will tell you guys. They will tell you that these laws that our Creator has given to us by his own hand, by his own mouth, to the hand of Moshe, are null, they are void, and they are useless, and that they don't matter to us anymore, and that we don't really need them in our life. Well, I'd like to discourage that kind of thinking, and I would like to encourage you to have the understanding that the laws, statutes, and commandments of our Creator are good for all times, all generations, all peoples, and if you will embrace them, and when I say embrace them, you must read them. This is what we do. We don't learn anything in this world unless we read. When we read the manual, we will very clearly see that the manual that is found in the first 5 books of scriptures tells us how to live and how to operate, how to run our businesses, how to run our families, how to run our lives, how to run our spouses' lives, how to take care of the fatherless, the orphans, the widows. It tells us a little bit of everything. And it is in our worst interest to be disinterested in what they have to say. And so we are the family that believes they are all good for all times, all generations, all people. And we encourage all of you guys to keep them. Kate, are you ready to open us up in prayer for the second time today?
Father, thank you for this day, and we thank you for this family, and we thank you for this ability to read your Torah. We thank you for the people that are going to be here and the people that come after. We thank you for the people that are willing to follow your Torah. We thank you for a family from all across the world joined together today on your Shabbat to read your Torah, to find your ways, to find the ways of your Son and see what you have written out for us all these years ago. We thank you for today. We thank you for your Torah. We thank you for your Son. We thank you for all in His name. Amen.
Now, this is going to be a little weird for you guys and for us because normally we're live with you guys, but I guess you're going to have to say that we're live in spirit right here because we're going to do this as a premiere right afterwards because we can't get the lives to go very long before they just shut our stream down. Now, we've noticed that it is when we do say things that is contrary to what the 1984 people want us to believe. Well, that's what happens. Now, I would like to help you guys identify, and I talked about this on the very first stream that we just got censored on, who your identity is, if so you choose. And your identity would be Yisrael. Now, I'm not talking about the little people in the east over there that is running all these little wars and all these little things. Everybody's looking at me on the table. They're saying, be careful what you're doing. Don't step on the ice. You're going to go through. So I must be careful. So we're not talking about those people. What we are talking about is we are talking about a Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy set of people. We are the people, and I'm not just saying that's the only books of our doctrine, because you have Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. We have our Besorah, we have our Tanakh, we have the prophets, and they're all a very important part. But what is something that we don't take importance of is that all of them are part of the entire system. You can't just have the New Testament without the Old Testament. You can't just have the New Testament without the Old. It doesn't make a lot of sense. And so when I say Yisrael is our identity, I'm very clearly calling you and me and all of us as the tribes of Yisrael. Now, according to Hebrews 8, there's only a couple of tribes that this even means anything to. The people that are saved, according to Hebrews 8, is one of two houses. And one of the two houses isn't the house of Christian, it's not the house of Islam, it's not the house of Mormon. It's the house of Yisrael, and it's the house of Yahudah. And that is the Hebrews 8 renewed covenant. And for those who don't know what a covenant is, the covenant is an agreement. It's like it's an apartment agreement. If you say that you're going to pay your landlord X amount of money, he's going to let you stay at this house, and garbage is either provided or not, and electricity provided or not, but you sign it. And when you sign it and he signs it, you expect that a giant hole doesn't develop in your house and your landlord does nothing, right? When your windows break or when something happens, you call your landlord. And this is what an agreement is. When you pay your bill, your landlord is agreeing to cover your house. Now, this is the same covenant that all of us have with our Creator. He says, if you will obey my laws, my statutes, and my commandments, I will be your Elohim. I will be your God, and you will be my people. And so in the Shema, which means hear and obey, which Jade's just about to read. It's in Deuteronomy, and it is a statement. It is a blanket statement for how we are to obey, how we are to operate, and if it's the only thing that you guys get from any of this reading today, it is a beautiful thing. Jade, will you please give us the Shema for our brothers and sisters?
Hear, O Israel, Yahuwah our Elohim, Yahuwah is one. And you shall love Yahuwah your Elohim with all your heart, and with all your being, and with all your might. And these words I command you today shall be in your heart, and you shall impress them upon your children, and shall speak of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up. And shall bind them with a sign in your hand, and they shall be as fronts between your eyes. You shall write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates.
Yeah, and so there you go, guys, right? We're told to love our Creator with all our heart, mind, and soul. We're supposed to impress them on our children. It's supposed to be everything in our lives. Now, the question I have for all of you guys, are we in the Shema world? Is the Shema something that is where we are at today? Do we love our Elohim with all of our heart, mind, and soul? Or our kids? Are we speaking of it when we get up? Are we thinking of Torah during the day? Or is Torah everything in part of our life? And if the answer is no, well, this is a great time to actually start reading the Torah. And what we're about to go through is these laws, these statutes, and the commandments that we go through every Shabbat. And it's imperative that we go through these because they are the lifeline guides for us. They are how to escape this world that we are in, this war-ridden, depressive, dark world that we are into right now. The only escape out of this is the kingdom. Because the other side, if we get rejected from the kingdom, then we're going to be heading back into the same place that all these devils and demons already are. And so with that, we are going to slowly go over these laws, statutes, and commandments. And maybe before that, Miss Nicole can greet those who we think will be there. Because we can throw out everybody that let's just do a random shout out. Who do we got?
From my mind.
From your memory. We know that Sister Barb
the Grand, Joanna, Brandon family, Danny Boy, his daughter Kayla.
What's the new guy's name?
Bat Yahuwah, Ramon.
We're really going down the testing course here.
Sylvia.
Miss Ewards.
There was Jeanette, she was on
Jeremy
there.
Callan, if you guys are out there.
Jeremy and Callan. Obi Lines, he wasn't there yet, but I'm sure he will be at some point. Who else is
Guys,
there?
we're doing the old test here. We're seeing how good our memories are.
Jeannie Not of This World.
Miss Nicole's doing good.
Sarah and William.
Mama CA.
Mama
CA was there.
Who else? Come on, Jobs. Who
else was there?
We got it? Have we done it? Have we exhausted our memories?
Gail and Grace and Heidi. I'm thinking.
All right.
King GG.
King Gigi. She
King
wasn't there
Gigi.
yet, but
Yeah, so you'll have to forgive us because when you're not right in front of us, sometimes we forget. We're old. We're getting like that. But you know what, guys? We really, really, really appreciate everybody who comes, who listens, who's part of it.
Honeymoon Stitch, Brian.
Honeymoon Stitch. We love you all. So let us get into this. We are going to be heading into these beautiful Torah commands of our Creator. Now, these Torah commands are for us, for all times, all peoples, all generations, and we are going to go through them and make them a part of our lives and yours. So commandment number 1.
Be fruitful.
Be fruitful. All right, come on, fellas.
We are to be fruitful upon the earth. Multiply. We're supposed to multiply. We're supposed to bring back the earth. We're supposed to not just be ourselves. We're supposed to add to the earth.
Yeah, multiply. We shouldn't kill off the kids. It's probably obvious, but I mean, we shouldn't kill the kids. Replenish the earth. It's the same for it, right? We have been gardeners. We've been set here as maintainers, as gardeners for this land. And it goes with replenish the earth and subdue it. I think are kind of not exactly the same, but I think they fall into the same category of things that us as farmers would be doing, right? We have been given these lands to work, to operate, to live, and to find our way back to our Creator. And this is what everyone misses usually in this whole Torah path, is that the Torah is the path back to our Creator. And in life, if you're looking for what is the meaning of life, well, the meaning of life is that we find our way back to the Creator. And that's the only thing that meaning of life can be. Because we're either going to find the second in charge, which is Hasatan, or we're going to yield to the very best. All right, the herb bearing and every tree is for food.
Man and woman should build their own families. They are to go out and build their own families, and they are to separate from mother and father. Master sin, versus to control sin, versus to control the sinful nature in ourselves. Every clean willing thing that lives shall be food for you. If an animal is clean, it is food for us to eat. Do not eat the blood. As eat the blood, there's life in the blood. Yahuwah says there is life, and he says not to eat it. He says that stuff makes you unclean. It's very unholy, and that's what a lot of the pagans do, is they eat the blood, and that angers Yahuwah. Walk before me and be perfect. We are to be perfect in his laws, statutes, commands. We are to walk upright before him. Guard Yahuwah's covenant, laws, statutes, and commandments. This one is listed more than any other time. Yahuwah must make it clear that we need to guard his covenant. We need to guard his laws, his statutes, and his commandments. And it says for all generations. So we are still generations. So
and it's actually, it's not a bad thing, right? I mean, if you look at guarding the laws, statutes, and commandments, it's not a drag, right? A lot of people would say, oh man, that's a bummer. They've said it's bondage. Nobody does that anymore. It's too hard to do it. What is your guys' opinions on that entire setup?
I don't think it's too hard to do. I mean, it's pretty,
is it hard?
I don't think so.
What's hard? What would be considered hard?
I mean, probably feast days. I mean, especially if you work like a job and trying to get days off to get the feast days in the middle of the week, that's going to be hard to do.
Yeah.
That's probably the hardest. I mean, everything else, I mean, Saturdays, I think most people can get Saturdays off, right?
Yeah, I mean, we came out of the Babylonian system, and we were figuring it out. A lot of people can't get days off. A lot of people are still struggling, but when you start keeping Shabbat and you start keeping this, you start aligning your life with this, and eventually, seek Yah, and he'll get you where you need to be.
Every male shall be circumcised at 8 days old. We're 8 days old, we get circumcised. We are entering the covenant with Yahuwah. It says that we are one of his people and that we are to keep his commandments. Teach your children the commands and guard the way of Yahuwah. Yahuwah wants us to teach the next generations, the next children, that they grow up in the ways of Yahuwah, that they grow up in Torah. Remember Yahuwah's name for all generations. We're supposed to teach Yahuwah's name to the next generations. We're supposed to pass it down so it's not forgotten. Because the world has forgotten, they have not been taught, and so they call him God or Lord, or they don't even know his name. Keep the Passover, Pesach. It is the first feast of the year that we are to keep. It is a very important one. It is a feast of remembrance as well. Keep the Feast of Unleavened Bread, Festival of Matzah. It is an important remembrance. When people came out of Egypt, when they were slaves, they didn't have time for the bread to rise, so they ate unleavened bread. There's one Torah for the stranger and the Hebrew. It does not matter where you're from, what your bloodline is, what your race is. If you want to be part of Yahuwah's people, you are to keep the same Torah as everyone else. Sanctify all firstborn to Yahuwah. The firstborn were Yahuwah's. He chose the firstborn out of all the animals of the people, and they are supposed to serve him. There are no mighty ones before Yahuwah. The only one we should worship is Yahuwah. We shouldn't worship a mighty ones made out of anything, but we should worship Yahuwah and Yahuwah alone. You shall not make graven images. We are not to make idols. We are not to make things graven in our image for worship. We are not to do that. Yahuwah says he is a jealous El, and that only he is to be worshipped. Do not bring Yahuwah's name to naught. Yahuwah's name is very important, and if we swear by his name falsely, or we use his name as a curse word, then we are bringing his name to naught. Keep the Shabbat, the Sabbath. It is the seventh day that we're supposed to rest. We're not to work. We're not to clean. We're not to cook. We're just to rest and worship Yahuwah all day long. Honor your parents. Parents are people who brought us in this world. They're the people who raised us and taught us, and we're supposed to honor them. We are supposed to treat them with respect, and we are supposed to take care of them when they are older.
Wait, not just when they're older?
I mean, and they're young too, but I mean, when they're older, just don't send them off to the nursing home and let them get abused, but whatever.
Okay. Sweet. Thanks.
Yeah.
All right.
Do not kill. It is not in your hands to take a life, or who decides to live. You should not be killing. You should not be taking life. Yahuwah is the one that gave life. He is the one that takes it away. Do not break wedlock. Wedlock is very important between man and woman. It is a sacred covenant between them and in the eyes of Yahuwah. And if you are committing affairs or doing things outside of committing adultery and breaking wedlock, then you are breaking the covenant that Yahuwah has established. And why would you be the one to separate what Yahuwah has put together? Do not steal. If there's something that you want, see if you can buy it, see if there's a way you can get it, do not steal it. Do not make false accusations against your neighbor. You are not to bear false witness against your neighbor. You are not to ruin his life with a false accusation, because that's an evil thing, and that will come around to you. Do not covet anything of your neighbor's. You're supposed to covet from your neighbor. When you start stealing your neighbor has and you want it, whether it be something he owns or his wife, you are not supposed to covet it, because that leads to lust, that leads to stealing, that leads to anger against your neighbor, and you do not want these kind of things. So when you see something your neighbor has and he has it, do not lust or covet what he has and you do not. Do not make an altar from a rock that a tool has touched. If you are making an altar, it needs to be Kodesh before Yahuwah. It cannot be something that's been touched with a tool of a person. Do not go up the altar by the steps. The priests were only to go up the altar by the steps, unless you were going up there to expose your nakedness on it, which is the command. If a man steals cattle, he shall restore it 5 times. If you steal an animal, you're supposed to give back 5. If you steal 2, you're supposed to give back 10. Alrighty. Yahuwah's laws for criminals. Yahuwah has a set of laws for criminals, whether they kill, whether they steal, how they are punished, and if they are put to death or not, and who decides these things. Do not lie with beasts. This is an abomination. Everything involved is stone, the animal, and you. Do not do this. No sacrifice to other Elohim. We're not supposed to sacrifice to mighty ones. We're not supposed to sacrifice to idols. We are only supposed to sacrifice to Yahuwah, our Elohim. Do not oppress the stranger, fatherless, or widow. These are people that have had a very rough time in life. These people that are struggling. If you make their life worse, you are a terrible person. You should be helping them. You should be taking care of them. You should be uplifting them. Do not charge your brother interest. When you loan to your brother, you're not supposed to charge him interest. You're supposed to help him out, and he will pay you back, but you're not supposed to take more from him than what you gave him. If you borrow your neighbor's raiment, return to him before sunset. Back in the day, people more than likely only had one pair of raiment. If they got taken from them, if they got borrowed from them, they would be cold at night, and they would cry to Yahuwah. Do not curse the ruler of your people. Now, when talking to the ruler of your people, it is supposed to be people that are holy, that are walking in the covenant, that are supposed to bring the people closer to Yahuwah. Not rulers of this world as it is in this current time. This is the people that bring us closer to Satan. Do not eat what is torn of any beast. If there's roadkill, we're not supposed to eat it. It is unclean to us, and it is something that Yahuwah says to stay away from because it will probably be disease. No false report. You are to be truthful in everything that you say. You're not supposed to lie about people. Do not say false things about people. Just be truthful in everything you do. Do not follow a multitude of evil. You are to walk uprightly with Yahuwah. You're not to go with the multitude of evil. You're not supposed to do as the evil is doing. Do not judge righteously against the poor. If you have a rich man and a poor man, you're supposed to judge them based upon the Torah and not based on who has moral wealth or what their financial status is. Bring back your enemy's cattle if you find it going astray. If the enemy's cattle run away, or you see their animals are gone, you return to them because the animals are not your enemies. And the animals are creatures of Yahuwah, and you need to take care of them and help them, and Yahuwah does not want the animals to be hurt.
And the animals are not your enemy. You said the animals are not your enemies. The animals would be your enemies. They're enemies. But you guys see what we're saying here?
The animal's not the enemy.
Yeah, the animal is not the enemy, but it is the enemy's animal.
Help the animals of your enemy. Same thing as bringing it back. If you see it in some sort of life-threatening position, if you see it in struggling, you see something happen to it, you're supposed to help it. You're supposed to get it back to your enemy, even if it is your enemy. Stay away from rumors and gossipers. Those people who rumor and gossip, those people who start creating lies about people and ruining reputations around towns or cities. We're supposed to stay away from these kind of people. We're not supposed to get in these groups because they will say very bad things, and you'll hear bad things, and you'll be thinking about these things about these people. Take no bribes. You are to be truthful in everything you do. If you take bribes, you will not be truthful. You blind to the eye. You will listen to the wicked people. Do not oppress a stranger. Love the stranger. The stranger is someone that is coming out of Babylon. They are someone that is coming out of the world, and they are strange. They are estranged to the Torah. They do not know what it is, so you are to love them. You are to bring them up, and you are to build them up in the Torah. Give your land rest in the 7th year. Every 7 years, we're supposed to give our land rest. We're not supposed to till the ground. We're not supposed to grow any crops because the land needs rest as well, and we need to replenish its nutrients. And Yahuwah said he would give us enough in the 6th year so that we didn't have to do it in the 7th. Do not mention any pagan names. If you are mentioning pagan names or likely names demons, you could be even bring them in upon you. To keep the feasts of Yahuwah. Yahuwah has feasts throughout the year, and he wants us to keep them. He says they are for all generations. He wants us to appear before him and keep these feasts. Do not cook your goat in his mother's milk. This is a pagan tradition that pagans would do. This is an abomination to Yahuwah. He said, do not do this. Obey the messenger Yahuwah sends before you. When Yahuwah sends a messenger before you, we're supposed to obey him. And we saw how in Joshua, he sent a messenger before him, and Yahushua obeyed him, and they were victorious in their battles. Do not bow down to other Elohim. We should only worship Yahuwah. We should only bow down to Yahuwah himself, and we shouldn't worship any false mighty one, anything that lives here on this earth. We should only worship Yahuwah. Serve Yahuwah. You are to serve Yahuwah and him only. He is the only one under the heavens and the earth that we should be worshiping, that we should be serving. Make no covenant with other Elohim or outsiders of the land. We're not supposed to make covenants with idols or gods. We are not supposed to make covenants with people who are not in Torah, people that will do us wrong and they will not honor their word. Do not make use anointing oil on a normal person. Do not make use perfume on a normal person. So a special concoction made specifically for the Levites, for the Kohanim of Yahuwah, and no normal person was supposed to put it on. Do not eat the fat. The fat contains toxins. It contains things you do not want to put in your body. And Yahuwah, this is for Yahuwah. Yahuwah loves the smell of the burning fat.
Do what you say you're going to do. Yahuwah says to honor your word. Yahuwah says to be a man of your word. And when you say you're going to do something, you follow through with it.
Return what is your neighbor's. If you, just like the animals of your enemy, if you see something of your neighbors and you know it's theirs, you are to return it. You are supposed to bring it back to them.
Obey Yahuwah's dietary laws. Yahuwah has a set of laws that he says what we can eat and what we cannot eat. And he says for all generations, the animals don't become clean or unclean based upon years of time passing. So Yahuwah's laws still to this day are the same as they were back then.
Women's time of separation, the laws and the rules of things of this nature. When women are cycling, it's the time to leave them alone. It is not. It is time basically to rest. Right in the olden days, or not in the olden days, but in the Torah days, the women had a place to go. So they had like a little house or a little peaceful station where they could go and they can do their little cycling thing and then get back to regular times.
Obey Yahuwah's hygiene laws. There was a certain type of hygiene law that Yahuwah had to keep the place away from disease and sickness, to keep everybody clean in the camp.
Keep the Day of Atonement, Yom HaKippurim. It is the Day of Atonement, the day we repent for our sins. The priest is supposed to go in and sacrifice for our sins so that we would have atonement, so that people would start fresh again and that their sins would be reset.
Do not uncover the nakedness of your family. Obviously, it's these laws, rules, and regulations. You don't have to get too far into this, but we live in this world where children are basically the prey for a tremendous amount of predators, and a lot of it involves where it begins in the house and various things of this nature. And so these are the kind of people that if you want to be in the kingdom to come, if you want to be a member of society, these are the things that we don't do. We don't uncover the nakedness of our family.
Do not take your woman's sister for a wife. We've seen what happened with Jacob. We've seen what happened when he did that and why it was such an issue, and we should not do that ourselves.
Do not allow women her uncleanness. When a woman is unclean, we're supposed to stay away from them.
You should not sacrifice your children to Moloch. You're not supposed to sacrifice your children at all, but specifically not to Moloch.
And not to Baal and not to anything, right? We're not, obviously, these are one of these things that we got this law. Number one, we don't murder. We don't do any of that stuff. But I mean, there was such a problem with offering kids to false deities that there is literally a command: you shall not sacrifice your children to Moloch. So just stuff to be aware of, right? We take care of our kids. We multiply, replenish the earth. We don't do this.
Do not be a sodomite. This is an abomination to Yahuwah. This is unholy. This is something you should stay away from.
Be Kodesh. Be holy. Everything that we do, we're supposed to be Kodesh. We are supposed to carry ourselves and show ourselves as the people of Yahuwah and stay Kodesh.
Do not leave the corner of your field, or you shall not glean your vineyard. You're supposed to leave the corner. You're supposed to leave that stuff for the poor, those who need food, those who are starving, so they can go to the corners, they can get some food without having to pay for anything.
Do not deal falsely or defraud your neighbor. Again, rules, regulations, the things that we do in the kingdom, stuff that, most people, they don't care about now. Everybody's falsely doing this. Everybody's defrauding everybody. There's scams a mile a minute. It's a real scammy world that we live in. But again, this is why we're looking forward to the kingdom to come, which is filled with people like this, people that don't defraud their neighbor, and things that we can count on people. And can you imagine? It's going to be a nice world, right?
Do not lie or be a liar. Yahuwah wants honest people in his kingdom. He wants honesty wherever he is. This is why he has a command of keep your weights and measures clean. Do not lie or be lying. Return what is your neighbor's.
Pay your workers the day's wages they are due. When your workers or someone that works for you is due money, you need to pay them what they are due and what you agreed upon.
Do not harm the disabled. It should be obvious, but you're not supposed to attack those who are already disabled, those who have problems. Help them out however you can.
Should we harm the people who aren't disabled?
No.
Harm
those who attack the disabled.
Oh, harm, that's what it is. Oh, no, we're not adding to. But yeah, these are great commands, right? Again, these are great rules and regulations. Nothing like jaywalking in these rules and regulations.
Do not endanger your neighbor. We're not supposed to put our neighbor's life in danger. We're not supposed to put anyone's life in danger. And if whatever we're doing, if it's going to harm them, or potentially get them killed, then we do not want to do that.
It's like thinking things through, right? You don't go do something that's going to like blow your neighbor's house away or something of the sort. We make sure that what we're doing, we're not hurting Yah's people.
Do not hate your brother. You are to love your brother. He is your brother.
Rebuke your neighbor for his sin. When you see your neighbor sinning, you're supposed to rebuke him and you're supposed to set him straight so that he does not keep sinning.
Love your neighbor as yourself. The second most important command in all the Torah. We are to love our neighbor as ourselves, help them out however they need it, and things like that.
And who's your neighbor?
Anyone.
Anyone? Is your Caden your neighbor?
Yeah.
Cade, Eli's your neighbor?
Yeah.
You guys love your neighbor as yourself?
Yeah.
You do? Nobody's getting on the spot here?
No.
No? You guys are good?
We're good.
Total love. Nothing but love and commitment here with the brothers?
It's like we've broken another command here.
Oh, lying?
Lie, yeah.
Deceit. Okay, I'm just throwing the boys under the bus. It's all good. We're a bunch of brothers. Everybody has their stuff. So do not diverse your cattle. Again, the kingdom rules. The things like you wouldn't stick the Brahmas in with the Holsteins. You wouldn't, all these different breeds, all these the kind of things that we have all over the place. We're not supposed to have it, right? We keep our livestock and our cattle, our things pure.
Do not mingle your seed. You're not supposed to have gardens of multiple things. They mingle, they start creating hybrids. And Yahuwah created his plants, but he didn't create them so that they would be hybrid fruits and vegetables.
Do not mingle linen and wool. When you put these two fabrics specifically together, they create a vibration that is extremely harmful for the body.
Do not do not lie with a taken woman. If a woman belongs to someone else, you're not supposed to be with her. You're supposed to stay far away from her. You are committing a few sins with this, and you should be taken outside the gate and stoned if you start lying with a taken woman.
Rock pile.
Yeah, rock pile. Grab the rocks, fellas.
Do not eat the fruit of the trees for 3 years. When you first get into a land, when you first plant some trees, wait 3 years when they're producing fruit so that they can reabsorb the fruit and get the nutrients. They can actually be stronger trees.
Do not practice sorcery. We're not supposed to practice sorcery, black magic, witchcraft, anything that has to do with demon possession or sorcery. Any types of those things we're supposed to stay far away from. It is wickedness, it is demonic, it is powers of the devil.
Do not round your beard or the corners of your head. Excellent command, right? This is one of these things, if you are able to grow a flow of mane and let it grow, flows. It doesn't matter if it's a little scraggly here and there. It is one of these things that it's alpha male style beard. And we love the beards around here. King David loved the beards. All the people love the beards. And so in the event you do have a beard, the thing is like a goatee, right? You wouldn't perform art on your face with a goatee. You look at the word, what it even is, a little goat. Everybody, all these the Satanists they worship the goat, right? They love the goat god. They love the Baphomet. And so we just stay away from things of this nature. Anything occultic, we try to stay away from.
Do not cut yourself for the dead. When someone dies, you're not supposed to cut yourself for the dead. You're not supposed to cut yourself in general because there's a body that Yahuwah created in his image.
Why wouldn't we cut ourselves? What Torah command would we like? Just obviously.
That's defiling your temple. Defiling the temple. They said we were created in the image of Yahuwah. You start defacing that image. That's
what else? What's the big one when you're cutting yourself?
Don't harm. Don't love your neighbors. I don't know.
Missing it. No one else.
Blood.
Yeah, you're bleeding.
Well, many of us don't eat the blood, but it doesn't say.
Don't eat the blood. But what else? What else? So do they say? Are we supposed to leave blood on the ground?
No, not that.
We cover it up. We cover the blood, right? There's all sorts of things, right? It's just in your best interest not to cut yourself. But these are these commands and why we do them. Okay, do not get tattoos, right? Our bodies are not a canvas, as Kate says all the time. We're not to be designing on it. A lot of people have, but the ink is very dangerous. The stuff is very dangerous. It's just. And, our Creator has given us freckles. He's given us moles. He's given us all sorts of identifiers, Some guys have hairy backs and some guys don't have hairy backs. Some guys are bald. Some guys aren't bald, right? We're all decored in every way possible. We don't need extra decor to separate us. We are all the children of the Most High.
Do not prostitute your daughter. You have to keep your daughter safe. You have to protect her. And if you start prostituting her, that's the wicked sin. You should be in the rock pile.
Bad dad, yeah, no doubt.
Do not defile your temple. You're supposed to keep your body pure. You're supposed to keep your temple pure before Yahuwah. Should be clean. Should be ready for Yahuwah. Do not consult the medium. Now, this is a person that talks to spirits, talks to demons, tries to conjure them. This is very satanic, and this is why Saul died in battle, because he went and consulted the medium.
Respect your elders. We're supposed to respect those who are older than us, have more knowledge and more wisdom than us. We're supposed to respect them. We're supposed to learn from them.
Have correct weights and measurements. Again, great things for the kingdom to come. Not even a great thing for the kingdom to come, but it's a great thing that we can expect, that when we go to the kingdom, we're not going to be walking down the road and we got Johnny Pickpocket, right? That we don't have, we're going to take we need some food or something in the kingdom and we have to go, we get ripped off there. We get ripped off everywhere. Have you guys seen the price of inflation? Have you guys seen the price of gasoline? The powers that be rip us off day after day after day. And it's what we don't do, right? If we have an opportunity to charge somebody else more because you can get it out of them than what you would normally charge, that's invalid weights and measurements. And there's even comes to the point where they were talking in scriptures that you wouldn't carry around a set of like fake weights. You wouldn't have one that either weighs heavier or weighs lighter. And then you see whoever's coming, a little lady, and so you're going to weigh her stuff a little heavier so that you make a little more money from this old lady that's not going to suspect stuff, right? These are all the things of bad people. And this is why we have beautiful commands such as this.
Do not walk in the manners of the nation. And we don't have to do what the pagans do, what the other nations do. They who do not follow Torah. We're supposed to stay away from their traditions, stay away from the stuff they do. Don't celebrate their holidays. Don't act in the way they act or talk the way they talk.
Keep the feast. First fruits, trumpets, and Sukkot. All three of these, right? There's more, but we have feasts that we have. It's not Christmas, Easter, Thanksgiving, any of these other satanic holidays. It is these kind of appointed times. And every year, whether or not we are on the correct calendar or not, doesn't make any difference to the effect of if we are being obedient. Even if we are off on our calendar, which probably most of us are, then we're doing the very best that we can to show our loyalty and be obedient. So this is why these, we need to keep track of them. We need to be a part of them. We need to make them part of our lives. And so, in the day of trumpets, more than likely you'll be sitting there blowing trumpets and Messiah Yahushua will come. There's all sorts of stuff that happens on appointed times, so we just have to be ready.
If you blaspheme the name of Yahuwah, you shall be put to death. This was a killing offense when you take the name of Yahuwah and you blaspheme it, because it was supposed to be held in the highest regard.
Yeah, and I should probably jump into this because this will be an interesting story. And I don't want to name names, but we'll just call this guy Thomas. And Thomas, I used to write this guy Thomas. Now this guy he owns a lab, and he's extremely rich. And he and I were talking for years, and like about 4 or 5 years we were talking. And I have never met anyone more pompous than Thomas. And I went and I was trying to get Thomas to go through the law, statutes, and commandments, and he actually did it. One day over the weekends, we're going through the law, statutes, and commandments, and a little bit later, he starts getting a little more belligerent. I don't know what happens exactly in his life, but he started this email thread with me, and it came out with about 200 threads at one point. And he was sitting there, and I could see him pounding his chest in the emails, and he was literally saying how weak Yahuwah was and how my Elohim was weak, and how it's like if there really was such a God, then he was above him and all this stuff. And I'm like, man, I felt real bad for this guy. I'm like, man, this guy's obviously on the road to hell. His whole world's going for him. He owns his house, his kids. He paid for all his kids' houses. I mean, the guy is like literally loaded. Nothing could go wrong for this guy. So I hadn't talked to this guy, right? And I just sent him an email the other day. I haven't talked to him in about 8 or 9 months. And I get an email back from him, and he goes, man, I almost died. I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, I was at my kid's house, and I was walking out my kid's house, and I stumbled, and I fell, and I started rolling, and I cracked my head, and I got a blood bleed, and I was rushed to the ER, and I've been in the hospital ever since. And he's like, as I'm typing this email, he's like, I just barely got my back brace off, and I can almost walk again. And I'm like, wow. I'm like, that's rough. I mean, how did this happen? And as he's as humbled as you can possibly get, as the most prideful dude I had ever known to walk the earth, now comes back and tells me he literally is taking a back brace off so he can even walk. And his mind is jacked up. I asked him, I said, dude, is your brain okay? He's like, I can't think right. He's like, I'm popping off. And I'm like, well, you were always popping up. And he's like, now I really am. I'm doing it with the customers and everything. And he can't control it. And it's like the Nebuchadnezzar complex, right? It's like something that all of a sudden you are as good as you are. And then all of a sudden you're out in the field eating grass for 7 years. And you don't know why you're eating grass. And it wasn't as good as you thought it was. But now you're awakened. And so there's a lot of things about our Creator and why we don't want to get on the other side of this. And I always thought this guy was just going to go off into hell in his own little ways. I didn't realize that he had angered the hand of the Creator so much that you just take a simple step and fall over and your life is destroyed. So these are things to think about, the blessings that we have in our life, because when we don't keep Torah, when we think that we are the creator of the universe and we're popping our chest out there and thumping on it, telling the world how great we are, we're going to get humbled. We are going to get humbled. We are a mere creation of the Creator. And it was very interesting and scary to see Thomas's life destroyed. A strong man, completely gone. Thoughts on that? You guys knew Thomas, my friend Thomas.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we do not tempt Yahuwah.
Right. Speak to the mic here, please. Yep. So anyway, all right, that's it. That's the story of Thomas. So we should not blaspheme Yahuwah. And when we do, you don't know when it's going to get you, but it may get you.
If you kill your animals, if you kill your neighbor's animal, you must give him another. Repay what you have killed, you give back to him. It isn't like the stealing, so more likely the killing is probably not on purpose, it's an accident. So you just replace what you have killed.
Repay injury for injury. You were to make everything equal. There were supposed to be equal terms, would be justified punishments back in the day. Yahushua said, turn the other cheek when someone injures you. But this is the command, is to repay injury for injury.
How does this work? I'm just saying this. You know, the United States of America killed off 228 little girls. Now, if we were in a Torah-based community, and in fact, over the last week, there was a whole bunch of civilians that were going over a bridge. We bombed the civilians. I didn't do it. The United States bombed all the civilians, killed a whole bunch of people. People are dying all over. There's like 70 or 80 civilians. If we were in a Torah-based world, who would pay for this? How would injury be?
The ones who orchestrated, the ones who did it.
The ones who orchestrated?
We take 228 of the leaders, and we would.
Would it be the ones in the army, or would it be the guys at the top of the ranks?
I would say the guys who gives the order.
Who's guilty? Is it the guy that pulls the trigger?
I would say both.
Everybody?
They have an option not to pull the trigger.
Yeah. So anybody involved at all?
I would say anyone involved.
What about the receptionist for the military base back in the United States? Somebody that's typing up a letter that is something. Is everybody that is a part of the military responsible for murder? Is this where we're going?
Everyone a part of that organization is responsible in their own way.
To a degree, they can't say they're oblivious to it. They can't say they don't know what's going on, and being a part of it or helping better themselves using that corporation.
You see, it's hard to make these kind of excuses when you're on the payroll, right? When you get money for murder, it doesn't matter if you're the nurse that's tending these guys back to health. You're involved in a war endeavor that's killing off people. We're going against the Torah just by going to these kinds of wars and killing them. And you could say all you want that they're the enemies of Amalek, or this is Amalek, or whatever the stuff is. But if we want to have the entire Torah be our guard, we have to guard all of the Torah. We can't have it one way. Anyway, continue on.
Honor Yobel, the Jubilee year. This is the 7th year. There's a 7-year reset period that Yahuwah gives us. It's supposed to be held in high regard. It is where you do nothing for an entire year. You let your land rest after 6 years, and it will come back more plentiful.
Confess your sins to Yahuwah and repay who trespassed against. If you have trespassed someone, you need to repay them. You need to confess those sins to Yahuwah. The law of being a Nazir. There's a law for those who be a Nazir. You do not drink wine, eat grapes. You do not touch dead. You worship Yahuwah, and you basically devote your life.
Set your part, yeah.
Even more than you were before.
Yeah.
Wear easy on the 4 corners of your garments. You're supposed to have 4 blue tassels where you're always supposed to wear. They remind you that you're keeping the covenant.
Not white tassels, folks. If you're wearing white tzitzit, you're breaking the commandment. It's for a blue thread. And so when your religious system has you wearing white tzitzit, it's best to investigate that religious system and ask why.
The laws, who are touched a corpse. Part of Yahuwah's hygiene laws is also have you dealt with the dead. And a lot of times you were dealing with dead. There's a lot of blood, there's a lot of death. How to clean with it, how to deal with it, how to make it right.
Follow Yahuwah's law of inheritance. Or to obey Yahuwah's law of inheritance, Yahuwah set it up so that the sons or the daughters, depending on how many relatives there were, who the closest family was, would inherit the fathers or whoever passes stuff.
The Torah of keeping your oath to Yahuwah. Supposed to do, if you are making an oath, it is only supposed to be to Yahuwah, and you are supposed to keep that oath no matter what. You cannot break it.
Do not add or take away from the word. Probably the greatest commandment, or one of the greatest commandments. I would say loving Elohim with all of our heart, mind, and soul is the greatest. I would say, and I'll go with Messiah on loving our neighbor as ourselves as a secondary. So I would say this has got to be a strong third right here, because this is the sin of the religious world. It doesn't matter. 40,000 different Christian religions, hundreds of thousands of different other religions out there, and everybody has their own doctrine. Everybody goes about this their way that they believe there is. You join a religious system, you join a way to salvation that is not what Scripture says. Now, if you are in a religious organization that says all you have to do is ask Jesus into your heart and you're saved, well, it doesn't say that in the Bible anywhere. And so, again, that is doctrines of man. And we have to be very careful when we do things like this. Christmas, Easter, Thanksgiving, these are all taking away and adding to the word. We are never told to keep these pagan holidays. We're never ever told to eat unclean food. We were never ever told to worship on a Sunday as the primary day of worship. Now, we can definitely worship on a Sunday. We can worship every single day of the week, which we should do based upon the Shema of Deuteronomy 6. But if it's your main day of worship, then you have broken the commands for man. Continue on.
Guard your soul. You are to protect your soul. It is the most important thing you have is what you are supposed to protect to get in the kingdom.
Learn to fear Yahuwah. We're supposed to fear Yahuwah. We're supposed to honor him. We're supposed to respect him. And if we do not fear him and know what he can do to us and how he can condemn our soul, then we are not respecting him.
You shall love Yahuwah with all your heart. Everything you do, no matter what you're thinking of, no matter what, it should be about Yahuwah. It should be on your heart at all times.
Bind the laws upon your hand and the front between your eyes. The laws are supposed to be with us everywhere we go. We're supposed to see the Torah. Our hands are supposed to work for the Torah. We are supposed to see the world through the lens of the Torah.
Write the laws on your doorpost. And whenever you go in, whenever you go out of your house, the Torah should be on your mind. Do not tempt Yahuwah. This is something you definitely don't want to do. You don't want to tempt him at all, because he can take your life. In his hands is the power of life and death.
End up like Thomas.
Do what is right and good in the sight of Yahuwah. You want to do only what is good and right in the sight of Yahuwah, not what is right in your own eyes, not what you think is fair and balanced. You want to do what Yahuwah says is right.
Do not be afraid of your enemies. Do not be afraid of your enemies, because Yahuwah is always on your side no matter what. He is on your team, so you should have nothing to be afraid of. Remember, Yahuwah. Everything you do, Yahuwah should be on top of your mind.
Circumcise your heart. Circumcise your heart. It's to enter into the covenant of your heart and join into Yahuwah, cleave to Yahuwah, and become his people.
Swear by his name. If you are to swear by something, you are to swear by his name, because his name is held in the highest regard. And if you swear by his name falsely, you will be taken out. Destroy graven images. Nowadays, you would get arrested for this, but you're supposed to destroy anything, destroy any graven image, destroy statues, destroy anything like that. You're supposed to do.
Do not make an Do not make an idol of Yahuwah as the pagans do to their Elohim. Yahuwah does not need a physical form. He does not need you to make him something. He is above all, and he is above a physical form, and so we do not need to make something out of wood or stone that no power, no life. That we do not make something for Yahuwah.
Rejoice in all Yahuwah has blessed you with. Every single breath of air, every single drink of water, everything has come from Yahuwah. It is all a blessing from Yahuwah, and we should rejoice in everything he has given us.
Do not do what is right in your own eyes. Remember, do only what is good and right inside of Yahuwah. If you think it's good in your own eyes, you need to judge it against the Torah, and if it is not what Yahuwah wants, then you do not need to do it.
Do not hearken to the words of the false Nevi'im, the prophets, right? when our Creator has given signs and wonders into people's eyes, things happen, right? And that's how you can, there's a Deuteronomy test of these guys, that when people say something in the name of Yah and it doesn't happen, well, it's back to the rock pile for them as well. And so these are all the things that, you know, we don't do.
Do not make any baldness between your eyes for the dead. Just like the pagan tradition of cutting yourself for the dead, harming yourself for the dead, you are not to make baldness between your eyes for the dead.
Do not eat any abominable thing. Anything Yahuwah has deemed unclean, anything Yahuwah has said that we shouldn't eat, don't eat it. Do not let it go into your mouth.
You shall give you shall give to a stranger clean food that dies itself, but you shall not eat of it. If there is something that dies itself but it is clean, you can give it to a stranger, but you do not eat of it.
And give tithe of your increase of seed year by year. Every year we're supposed to give increase of seed to the Levites, so they had something to eat, as they had no job, they had no way to get paid, so this would be how they would eat. We would give them the increase of our seed.
The law is the end of the 7-year release. After the 7-year release, everything was supposed to go back to its original owners. You're supposed to set your slaves free. You're supposed to set everything as a reset, a giant reset at the end of the 7 years.
Do not borrow from the nations. We don't want to borrow from those who will do us wrong, those who are not in covenant. If we borrow from them, then we become enslaved to them, and they do not follow the same sets of rules as we follow.
Do not harden your heart, nor shut your hand from the poor. If someone needs help, if someone needs food and they're poor, just help them out however you can. Do not shut your hand from them.
Guard month 1 of Yahuwah's calendar. Month 1 is very important. It's the first of the year. It is the first feast of the year. Yahuwah wants us to obey and follow month 1.
3 times a year, all males shall appear before Yahuwah. And during the feast time when there was a temple, all the males were to go up to Yisrael, to Jerusalem, to the temple to see Yahuwah, to report back to him, to show that they were still following his Torah. You shall make judges and officers in all your gates. In the Kodesh land, you would have Kodesh judges and officers, those who know the Torah well, so they could rightly rule the criminals, things like that.
Do not plant Asherah poles near the altar. A Asherah pole is an idol, something that the pagans worship. We're not supposed to plant them, and especially not near the altars.
There must be 2 or 3 witnesses. If there is something going on, if someone accuses someone, there should be at least 2 or 3 witnesses to verify that.
Hearken to the prophet Yahuwah is chosen. When Yahuwah chooses a prophet, and it is proven to be a prophet of Yahuwah, to listen to him and do what he tells us to do.
Prophet test of Deuteronomy, there was a way of testing to know if what they say is true or not. If it becomes true, then they are the people, and they are prophet of Yahuwah. If not, then they are a false prophet.
Do not remove your neighbor's property line. Obviously, it's like invalid weights and measurements, as it comes back again, more of us ripping people off, trying to get ahead, and just trying to take that extra inch. And obviously, it's such a problem. Even back in the days, people were still trying to do it. People do it even as of today. You're always getting into property disputes, and you always have to get the guys out of the GPS to find out exactly who's what. But when we try to get that extra inch on the property line, this is where these things happen, and this is where our Creator has given us these set of rules that are excellent, that tell us, we shouldn't even be messing with this at this point.
How to deal with a false witness among Torah keepers. If the false witness was trying to get someone in trouble, you were supposed to enact the punishment they were trying to get on the other person.
The first child is get double portions. When the inheritance is given out, the first child is get double portions so that he can take care of the rest of the family, and he has more to take care of them and become the leader of the household.
If your brother's cattle or clothes are lost and you find them, you must return them. Just like the cattle before, it's for your brother. If you find his cattle or clothes, you are to take it back to him. You're supposed to bring it back to him because he's probably very distraught about it.
A woman should not wear what pertains to a man, nor a man wear what pertains to a woman. Men are supposed to be men, and women are supposed to be women, and it's not supposed to be any other way.
If you find a bird's nest with the mother and the babies, or eggs, take the babies, but not the mother. The babies are not able to defend for themselves, they're not able to carry on, so if you find the nest that is endangered, you can take the babies, but leave the mother to go on about her life.
If you build a new house with a flat roof that they'll be lived on, you must put land around it. In the days of Israel, they had flat roofs as an extra room so they could sleep on them. But you got to put a railing around it so people didn't dive off the side or get hurt or possibly die.
Do not be a prostitute. Another thing that is an abomination for Yahuwah, and you would be put to death. Rockpile.
Yeah. Do not use dirty money. Again, it's all part of this whole thing, right? When you have dirty money, it's because you've done things to get dirty money, and then you're using it and you're just increasing dirty money. It's all a bad thing, right? We're not supposed to build our houses on dirty money.
It's not talking about money that's fallen in the dirt and you picked it up and has some mud on it. That's not
it. A little more dirt. Okay, Torah, law of divorce. right? There is a law of divorce for when we cannot get it down. Obviously, we're supposed to, according to Messiah Yahushua, it's, we have two flesh that is made one, and we should not be splitting them apart. But there is a law of divorce in the days of Moshe because men had hard hearts. And so instead of them finding compassion and finding love, we have to go the other way. But it's not meant to be. Once we're married, it is supposed to be for good.
Not to have virgin's millstone for a pledge. Back in the day, this was all they had to make flour. This was their only thing they had that they could eat their dinner with. You're not supposed to take it from them. You're not supposed to take their only way to get food away from them.
If you lend to your brother to not enter his house, get your payment. He must bring it to you. Return his play before sunset, if that was his pledge. You can't force someone to give something back. You can't break into their house and take it back. If someone has given you their clothes as a pledge, give it back to them before sunset so they do not go cold throughout the night.
Do not oppress the hired servant that is poor and needy. If you hire someone, if they need help them out. Do not oppress them. Do not make your lives any worse. Every man shall be put to death for his own sin. Everyone is responsible for their own selves. Everyone is responsible for how their own kingdom walk. Nobody else is responsible for you, and nobody else can save you. You are to be judged as your own person. Do not go back to the forgotten sheep in the field. Leave for the stranger, fatherless, and widow. If you have a forgotten sheep, it means you already have too much. It means you already have excess of what you need. You can leave it for those that cannot provide for themselves. Do not muzzle your ox when he treads out grain. If you have your ox working for you, do not muzzle him. Let him eat while he's working.
If your brother dies and has no child, you shall take his wife and name the firstborn after your brother. So that way your brother is not forgotten. That way he has some kind of lineage, and you are basically raising that child up in your brother's place.
At the end of 7 years, you are to read the Torah at the Feast of Sukkot, Feast of Tabernacles. And so this is one of these things that back in the days, this is the thing that we can do. We can keep this commandment every week. We can keep reading the Torah day in, day out. Right? Back in the day, a lot of people couldn't read. So this is a chance that they were actually able to hear the Torah being read for them. All right, guys, so that is the end of these 157 commands that we can keep today. And there are more commands, but they're nested inside of this. Things like hygiene laws. There's stuff inside of hygiene laws. How we deal with corpses, how we deal with all sorts of stuff. These little tiny things. But for the most part, these are what we can do today. And so when we are looking at the commandments of our Creator versus the commandments of man, these things make a lot of sense. The commandments of man don't make a tremendous amount of sense. All right, and since we're not actually going to be doing this live, and this is as live as we get with you guys, if you guys have any kind of questions and we're reading through this, go ahead and get them in the chat. We're going to be going through the chat, and we're going to take everything from the chat, questions, comments, and all this stuff, and we're going to put it for the next reading. And so we're going to do every bit of our readings. Unfortunately, we're probably not going to be able to do them live for the next couple of weeks. We're going to do them Shabbat mornings, and then we're going to stick them at 11 o'clock the same time. And so it'll go the same time for you guys, but unfortunately we don't get to spend that same time when we love spending that time with you guys. And the powers that be do not want us to go live on this thing. So let's get into this real quick. Okay, so we are into Bereshith. And so this is Genesis chapter 8. Now, I think, I don't know if there's something inside of Genesis chapter 8, inside of Joshua chapter 8, or inside of Matthew 3 that is so bad that we've been censored 3 different weeks to get to, that we've just been smoked. So I don't know if there's something just so deep into this that we need to read and to discuss, or why exactly it was so bad for us to go online that YouTube does what YouTube does. And so let us get into this. Who has the recap from this? Bereshith chapter 1 to chapter 8. Give me the recap. Where we're at to this point right here.
Well, we had 7 days of creation. We had Adam and Eve. They were supposed to take care of the garden. They had a few simple commands, and one of them was do not eat a fruit of a certain tree, or they would die. And, well, they ate that tree. They were convinced by a serpent. The guy talked to him and said, go ahead, eat it. You'll be like Elohim. And Elohim came on into the garden, realized they had clothes on. They realized they were naked. He said, who made this known to you? Did you eat of the tree? And they did, and they played the blame game. Adam blamed Eve, Eve blamed the snake, snake lost his legs, they got kicked out of the garden, and they had to live outside the garden. And then they had children, they had Cain and Abel. And Cain killed Abel because he was jealous of Abel. And he got cursed by Yahuwah, he ran off. Yahuwah put a mark on him that he was going to be judged by his generations. And they had another child named...
Put a mark on him so he wouldn't be killed by the people that were judging him from his generations.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
And then they had Sheth, and Sheth was the new son they had. He was basically where all the generations are from, that lead down to Noah. And they have kids, they grow up. Cain finally dies after like 70 generations. One of his descendants accidentally kills him. Guy's a little blind, shot an arrow into him. It's a big ordeal there. And then the giants come along. The messengers start mating with the women. The women have giant children, and the giants start doing bad things there, and so much destruction and death. Yahuwah says, I'm going to have to flood this place to fix it. And Yahuwah told Noah to build a boat, and he built a really large boat for enough animals. 7 of every clean animal, and then there was a pair of 2 for every unclean animal. And Noah did what Yahuwah said. He told people to repent. They didn't repent. So they got on the boat when the flood started and drowned everything on earth.
Okay, so...
And then we are still on the waters, and everyone drowned.
Okay, so here we are. We're floating. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Jobs. We're floating on the water, right? Everything's going. Last time we discussed, feeding, what we thought about things like how did they go to the bathroom, who cleaned the stalls, how much food was there, how many kinds of, we know what kinds of animals were there, but in the world of dogs, there's like, hundreds of different dogs. There's like 220 different dog breeds out there. I don't think that Noah had 220 dogs. I would imagine he had, like the wolf breeds and the couple of the big breeds. I think they came down to that. But we're sitting here floating around, and it's some intense stuff for the humans. So as Eli does the visual for us, I will do the reading. So here we are, guys. Bereshith, chapter 8. And Elohim remembered Noah, and all the beasts, and all the cattle that were with him in the ark. Now, wouldn't you like a story that starts out with this? And Elohim remembered Jaden. And Elohim remembered Caden. And Elohim remembered the Boss family. Isn't that like a good thing?
Yeah.
You guys want to be forgotten? Or would you like me to start
No,
different?
but are we going to say that Yahuwah forgot Noah was in the boat?
Well, no, but think of the world where the world was. It's one little boat, all consumed with water. Everything's completely in chaos. There's just one little boat sitting there floating around, and Yahuwah remembered Noah. And I think that was a big thing. I think they're in the...
It's more significant, I think, to say that it was more like, and he saved him. There was salvation for Noah.
Yeah, I don't think it's like he remembered, like he had forgotten.
Right, yeah,
right?
he's not a forgetful person.
I don't think it was like that. If that was your point on that. But I remember it's like he didn't forget him, right? His obedience to us, because of our obedience to him, is that he would not forget us in this time of stress. And this is probably going to be the most fearful moments in all life. Now, we have a picture here. Now, obviously, I don't think this is the picture.
Who got this picture?
I don't know who got the picture. Who got the giraffe, the elephants out the top? That would be Cubs. Okay, so we have some giant things now.
And they didn't fit in the ark.
they
So-
may not have. Okay.
So the actual Hebrew word for that he remembered was vayizkor, and it means that remembering was not that absent-minded, but it meant more of a salvation. So it's like, and Noah had salvation.
Yeah. Okay, and Elohim made a wind to pass over the earth, and the waters subsided. It's interesting though, the wind comes first, and the water subsided. So I'm thinking that the rain stopped, and then the winds or something. I don't think, because there's still tons of water there. Maybe you think it subsided as it's not wavy. Is that what you're thinking?
Maybe as well, yeah.
2, and the fountains of the deep and the windows of the Shamayim were stopped. Okay, so the rain stopped, and the rain from the Shamayim was withheld. So on verse 1, where it says a wind to pass over the earth and the water subsided, is a different event than the actual rain stopping.
Well,
or that it was all part of that, the winds, and then all of a sudden it stopped.
They had the same Hebrew translation for wind as ruach as in Genesis 1:2, which is and Yahuwah's ruach was over the face of the deep. So I think it was Yahuwah's breath was over the
Spirit,
face.
his
was
power.
was over the waters.
Yeah. 3, and the waters receded steadily from the earth, and at the end of 150 days, the waters diminished. So we had 40 days and 40 nights, the waters filled up. And then we had 150 days for the waters to be down. So we're talking like 190 days. So at 365 for a year, we're talking like a what?
A little over half a year.
70 days short of an entire year in this boat. So that's a long time in a boat, guys. When you're talking about this, when you look at that time frame, we're talking, 70 days away from 365. So
I don't think your math's that
Is
easy.
my math
It's
that-
190 days total.
he's 150 days, 40 days.
That's
in the
190.
day,
We're 200. We're
90.
so
Oh,
two-thirds.
I'm off
So
100.
it's like 6 months.
6 months. All right, I'm totally off. Thanks, guys. Thanks for letting me go down that path as far as I went.
Well, he and I
before
were
helping me out.
like,
Yeah.
We were having a mental bath conversation.
I appreciate that. Thanks, guys. Okay, so we got it. So it's about a half a year in the ark. Still a very, very long time. 6 months in the ark, right? And you're again, every single day is you're going to be stall cleaning. You're going to be dealing with the animals. Do you think anything died? Because we have chickens. We have things. They die every once in a while. Things just die. You think any of the cling animals die?
I hope not.
I don't know about the clean, but I know like flies have like a really
I
short
mean, you don't know about
lifespan.
the cling. Because if the uncling would have been dead, it would have been.
I'm talking
they
about
would have
things
been
like I'm talking about things with short lifespans.
I mean, you gotta feed the lions somehow. Throw a sheep in every once in a while.
Well, like flies, like what, 30-day lifespan?
Yeah, the flies have like a 1 month lifespan.
So that would have been interesting. There would have been what, 6 generations of flies on that ship.
Turbine.
Six
probably
years.
more.
Yeah, and so you would have, probably more.
Would it not be better if the flies and the fleas like were on the water?
The fleas probably were just on the back of the animals. They didn't care. But is it just one of each flea, or are we saying that these animals were content and didn't have a lot of fleas?
Maybe there were only 2 fleas.
Maybe the times were good. Maybe there was only 2 fleas. That's great.
Just right down the back of the dog.
Yeah, which animal got the fleas? The dogs?
Dog or cat?
Probably. Okay. All right. And verse 4. And in the 7th month, the 17th day of the month, the ark rested on the mountains of Ararat. And the waters decreased steadily until the 10th month. In the 10th month, on the first day of the month, the tops of the mountains became visible.
So there's no 9 months now.
So now my math is getting better.
It's getting closer.
Getting closer, see? Just had to wait a little bit. Be patient, everyone. Okay. So the tops of the mountains became visible 6, and it came to be at the end of 40 days that Noah opened the window of the ark which he had made, and he sent out a raven, which kept going out and turning back until the waters had dried up from the earth. Jake.
So is this the first time he's opened the window?
That's the thing. This
It
is
doesn't mean like, let some smells out at some point, right?
well, I don't know. Who says? I mean, we've been to the rest areas in Wyoming. It doesn't smell good.
So the doors are wide open.
The doors are wide open. It still smelled bad. So, I mean, it's not going to be any bit good at all. So, I don't think, I mean, this is the first encounter that we have of this. And so, this is an interesting picture.
Yeah.
What is that?
I think that's the raven.
Is that a bald-headed raven?
Yep, let's go with that.
We'll go with that.
We're not there yet.
No, we're
Yeah,
not.
he's out the raven.
We just barely did the raven. So, we got a picture of Noah here with one of his kids. And nobody has long beards. Noah's the only one with long beard. What's really going on here? Are we telling me they were trimming up in the...
They have a few hundred years to grow. It's just long enough yet.
All right, and it came to be at the end of 40 days that Noah opened the window of the ark which he had made, and he sent out a raven which kept going out and turning back until the waters had dried up from the earth. Then he sent out a dove from him to see if the waters had receded from the face of the ground. You don't think he'd look out the window and see down? I think he's up on the mountains.
Well, he's on the mountain here.
He's on the mountain.
Is it this one? Okay, that was all dried up, but he's on the mountain, so he can't really see too much.
Oh, probably. He's high up. But the dove found no resting place for its feet and returned in the ark to him. And for the waters were on the face of the earth. So he put out his hand and took it and pulled it into the ark to himself. Okay, so we had a raven, then we had a dove. Raven came back, raven came back, right?
Yeah.
Dove came back the first time, and he waited yet another 7 days, and again he sent the dove out from the ark. So there's cycles of 7s here. Mm-hmm. So just at the end of this, we would have had about 3 Shabbats, the final Shabbats. I mean, we're living in the ark. This is a mobile home at this stage. 11. What do you guys think? They had buckets to go to the bathroom in for the humans?
I have no idea.
We can only guess that maybe the animals were restrained. Like, you think of an elephant, that's going to take a big shovel every day. That's going to take some manpower.
A few shovels.
It's going to take a few shovels. And you're going to have to do something with this. And so maybe they had a room just for stuff like this.
Had to feed the flies.
The flies were definitely fed. Okay, 11. And the dove came to him in the evening, and see, a freshly plucked olive leaf was in his mouth. Get us a dove picture. Said the raven. And Noah knew that the waters had receded from the earth. And he waited yet another 7 days and sent out the dove, which did not return to him again. And it came to be in the 601st year, in the first month, the first day of the month, that the waters were dried up from the earth. And Noah removed the covering of the ark and looked, and saw the surface of the ground was dry. So somehow from this point, he could take the top of this off, right? He took it off and he could see the ground was dry. So maybe the window was up too high and he couldn't like get out or something. Maybe.
Ark was convertible.
Something of the sort, yeah. All right, 14. And in the second month, on the 27th day of the month, the earth was dry. All right, so where are we at? The second month of the 27th day?
I lost track. We're over
So
a
we're
year
the second
now.
month. Yeah, so we're a year. It's a while. And Elohim spoke to Noah, saying, "Go out of the ark, you and your wife and your sons' wives with you. Bring out with you every living creature of all flesh that is with you, of birds, of cattle, of all creeping creatures that creep on the earth, and let them teem on the earth and bear and increase on the earth." So Noah went out, and his sons and his wife and his sons' wives with him, every beast and every creeping creature and every bird, whatever creeps on the earth, according to their kinds, went out of the ark. And Noah built an altar to Yahuwah, and took of every clean beast and of every clean bird, and offered burnt offerings on the altar. And Yahuwah smelled the soothing fragrance. And Yahuwah said in his heart, "Never again shall I curse the ground because of man, although the inclination of man's heart is evil from his youth, and never again smite all life as I have done." Now, gentlemen, the creator of the universe just told you guys that you were evil from your youth.
Yep.
What do you guys think of this? And what do you make of this? And do you believe what our creator said, that you guys are evil from your youth?
Well, I mean,
Oh, that's a great question. Come on, Kate. Come on here. Are you guys?
the
Tell me of your wickedness,
the
boys.
generations here, they did not fear who they had no. I mean, I would say it's similar to these days. I mean, I don't know if it's, everyone is evil from their youth, because a lot of people, some of us have Torah growing up, but everyone else, I mean, they're just
You
Gentiles.
walk the Torah without an evil thought?
no.
Does
I
your
mean,
tongue never get you in fire?
Some days.
Remember how James says that tongue is like a rudder on the ship and it takes us? So you're trying to tell me that you can walk the Torah and not have any your
No, I'm saying that their hearts aren't always evil.
right. But what does it take to make an evil heart? What is a definition of an evil heart? What is it?
Well, based upon these guys,
Lawlessness.
Torahlessness.
And there was much violence.
Yeah, Torahlessness, right? And inside of the Torah, we have all of our instructions for all of this stuff. And so, yes, man is evil from his youth, right? And until we seek the Torah, and even though that we have the Torah, it doesn't count us as perfection, right? There's no such thing. And so many people get that so twisted. They will say, "Oh, you're a Torah keeper. Oh, you can do no wrong. Oh, you're better than everybody else." And that's not it. That's not what we said. Nobody ever said anything like that. It's that we understand what sin is because we have read the Torah, and I would rather understand what sin is than be judged based upon the Torah and not understand it at that point. 21. Something else on this. Excuse me, guys. It's interesting right here, right? There's always this, Yahuwah smelled a soothing fragrance and said in his heart. Just that right there, I'm like, wow. There's a couple of things that we can just say about Elohim for sure just by that sentence right there. What can we say?
That he likes smells.
That he has, what does he have?
A heart.
Does he have feet?
Well,
Probably.
I mean, we were made in his image.
Right.
So.
And so if he's able to smell smoothing fragrances, what can we guess he has?
He also has a heart.
I bet. There we go. There we go. And he said in his heart. And I found that very interesting because as we are made in the image of Elohim, we are made in perfection, right? We are there. If Elohim is in this perfected state and he's designed us in the same perfected state, that is a baraka. That is a blessing. And, it's something that people don't get. If you don't think your creator is near you or he doesn't have his eyes on you, can somebody explain how he can smell cooked meat? If our creator's light years away and doesn't really know what's going on, how is it possible? He's actually saying in his heart that he's not going to kill us off in the same way, and that he smells the great taste of this meat.
And to smell, you have to be in a certain distance. So
The question becomes, does Elohim eat meat? If he likes the smell of it, is this something he would eat? Does he eat his critters? Or does he eat it all? I mean, if we're made in his image and we're eating, can we deduce?
We're made to get hungry.
We're made to get hungry, and we also know that in the kingdom to come, people are eating and dining. and drinking, which means you would probably get hungry of something of that
I would
nature.
imagine the creator eats something.
Something. Yeah, something. Okay. Continuing on, although the inclination of man's heart is evil from his youth, and never again smite all life, as I have done, as long as the earth remains, seed time and harvest, and cold and heat, and winter and summer, and day and night shall not cease. Okay, there's a couple of things there, right? So he's never going to do that to us again and judge us in this fashion as long as the earth remains, seed time and harvest, so basically spring and fall, cold and heat, winter, summer, and winter and summer, and day and night. So it looks like an eternal promise, right? It looks like this is not going, we're not going to be flooded out like this again. Now, will fire and brimstone and rain from the Shamayim come? Probably,
Yeah,
maybe.
I would imagine so.
I mean, will the rest of the world burn up in a horrible way? Yes. Will the dragons of Job come out? Probably. Something of that sort, right? We haven't seen any of that. So, at some level, the flooding may have been the least of our worries, especially where Leviathan comes to, barbecue people. All right, so there it is, guys. That is the book that we've been trying to get through, the chapter. For whatever reason, we were unable to do this. So let us get into our next chapter.
Do you have notes?
Notes. Thank you. All right, what do you got to note, Chip? All right, here we are. I want you guys to answer this. What does it mean that Elohim remembered Noah and all the beasts and livestock with him in the ark?
Well, I think we kind of answered that.
We did go that. And then sent a wind so the water subsided. How does this active remembering by Yahuwah encourage you during long trials or when you feel forgotten?
Well, I would say those that are obedient to Yahuwah, Yahuwah does not forget you.
Amen.
And they had a trial portion of their lives here, which was a very long time in the ark, which was probably close to a year. But Yahuwah didn't forget them. Yahuwah was with them the entire time. And at some point, Yahuwah decided it was time for them to be out of that ark.
And I would say that if you're in the middle of a rocking boat, everything around you is going crazy, and you don't have a direct line to Yahuwah, and you don't know what's going on, you're going to be in that boat, and you're going to think like you're forgotten, right? You're going to be scared to death. Like this, what in the world is going on? Elohim Most High, please save us. And a lot of times, this question is that we, as Yah's people, we end up in places where we feel like we're just drifting on top of the water, and we're not getting the answers that we need. We're not getting we're not there. And, we can take from that verse that we will be remembered, right? And that, again, like we alluded to at the beginning, it's not like we've been forgotten, but that Elohim never forgets us, and that even if we think we're forgotten, we're definitely not forgotten. So the lesson of this one is Yahuwah actively sustains and delivers his obedient ones through judgment. Question 2. Noah patiently sent out the raven and dove multiple times while waiting. What does this show about discernment, testing Yahuwah's timing, and trusting his process instead of rushing? How do you practice this kind of patience and obedience today?
Well, we gotta look out and see, the raven disappeared, right? Raven didn't come back, and sent the bird out, and you're like, okay, maybe there's land. If he would have stepped out before he sent the dove out, he would have ended up swimming for a little bit.
Yeah, he would have been swimming with the dolphins. Or something.
Yeah, and he would have to get back on that boat and then wait for some land to dry up.
Yeah.
I mean, we got to apply it to our lives and understand we can't just jump into everything, right? Just because something looks right, we need to wait and then...
We need to wait on Yahuwah. We need to pray. We need to fast. We need to see what he is. The lesson from that verse is faith involves active waiting and seeking confirmation from Yahuwah. Okay. Upon leaving the ark, Noah's first action was to build a slaughter place to Yahuwah and offer ascending offerings from every clean beast and bird. Why prioritize worship and gratitude over rebuilding or settling? What does this teach us about responding to deliverance?
I would say you got to show that even after the ark, because you got to show Yahuwah that you are still his people. Okay, you're like, okay, I'm off the boat now. You forget Yahuwah, he's going to send the water right back on.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It seems like, a lot of us fall into these trials and tribulations, and we seek our Creator, right? It's real easy to have a life struggle to the point where we're crying out for help, and we're saved, right? And then what do?
We just forget. We forget, and it's like the I think it was Jim Staley that originally talked about the analogy with the guy from the mic booth, right? Everything's going well, you don't think about him, and then all of a sudden your mic screeches,
right?
And then you're like, oh, you think about that guy. We don't think about him unless something goes wrong.
Yeah. And then, then we're right to get on our knees. It's real easy to get back into prayer when we're afflicted, but we always forget that the hand of the Creator has delivered us out of this. Okay, The lesson of this one is heartfelt thanks and worship to Yahuwah should mark every new beginning, and I'm going to say every new day, right? Every new moment. It's something to be thankful for. Let's see. Notice the parallels between the post-flood renewal, wind, order, chaos, barren increase, reliable seasons. That comes from Genesis 8:22, and the original creation. What does this teach us about Yahuwah's commitment to restoration? How does it bring in hope in times of personal or worldly chaos?
It always brings it back to the beginning. So when things go wrong, he'll bring us back to basically the beginning. And it's a restart.
And looking at this pattern and what we have seen on this, what should we expect, Cade, for our lives in the same pattern? What would our Creator do, mimicking what we see here in our lives?
That sometimes our life will be chaotic, but he'll always bring us back. He'll always bring us back to him.
And sometimes that chaos is simply a call, right? It's that call. It's trying to get our attention into all of this. All right, Eli, let's get into our next thing. All right, guys, we are heading into Joshua 8 and Yahushua. And this is the guy that had no family. He was the son of none. Actually, that joke never gets old, does it?
Nah, I don't know.
All right. Yeah, he was the son of Nun. And did you get the picture of Joshua fighting Ai? That one?
Which one?
Yeah, battle guy. One Jaden put in there.
I must have missed that one.
Oh, got it.
Dang it.
Okay.
Oh, man, no joke.
Yeah, that was great.
Oh, man.
Okay, so Jay, take us through this. Where are we at from all of this?
So Moshe died, and he gave Joshua leadership of the children of Israel. And Joshua's doing pretty good. Yahuwah reminds him constantly to be courageous, be strong. It's obvious Joshua has a little bit of fear trying to run a tribe this big, a people this big. But he's doing pretty good. He sends spies into Jericho. They cross rivers. They do what Yahuwah says. They walk around Jericho 7 times, and they're doing really great. Nothing's going really wrong. You know, it's not like the days of Moshe where everyone's stiff-necked. They turn back, and it seems like every other chapter they're fighting their leader. Well, then we get through Jericho, and everything's decimated. Everything's lit on fire, and all of a sudden the camp starts being cursed. They start being plagued, and it's wondering what's going on. And they find out that a few of the people had taken stuff from Jericho that was supposed to be burned, that was supposed to be decimated, and they kept it. They stored it under their tent. So it brought a plague on all the people of Israel. And they had to kill this guy for his greed, and they got rid of him, they got rid of the items, and they were back to health again. They lost wars because Yahuwah was not with them, because they brought a curse upon themselves. But now Yahuwah is back with them, and they are ready for their next battle.
And the last chapter, they went up to, what was the city called? Ai. Right? And so they went up to Ai. Now, do you guys remember how many people they were told to take up to Ai the first time?
No, hold on.
5,000.
Okay.
So we had 5,000 people, because that's going to matter here in this story, because I think it's an interesting thing to discuss. So here we are, guys. And Yahuwah said to Yehoshua, so go back to the text and stuff, the picture's like not very exciting. And Yahuwah said to Yehoshua, excuse me, do not be afraid nor be discouraged. Take all the soldiers with you and arise, go up to Ai. See, I have given into your hand the sovereign of Ai, and his people, and his city, and his land. So you shall do to Ai and its sovereign as I did to Jericho and its sovereign. Only its spoil and livestock you take as plunder for yourselves. Lay for yourselves ambush for the city behind it. And Yehoshua and all the soldiers rose up to go up to Ai. And Yehoshua chose 30,000 mighty brave men and sent them away by night and commanded them, saying, see, you are going to lie in ambush against the city, behind the city. Do not go very far from the city, but all of you shall be prepared, while I and all the people who are with me approach the city. And it shall be, when they come out against us as formerly, that we shall flee before them, and they shall come out after us, till we have drawn them from the city, as though saying, they are fleeing from before us as formerly, and we shall flee before them. Then you shall rise from the ambush and seize the city, and Yahuwah your Elohim shall give it into your hand. And it shall be, when you capture the city, that you burn the city with fire. Do according to the word of Yahuwah. See, I have commanded you. All right, what's the plan? What is the plan?
This is basically just deceiving your enemy. They're going to make sure they think these guys are so weak. They're going to take all the soldiers, get them to chase them outside the city, and they're going to have another team from around the back, and they're going to light that city on fire. So they're going to be too far away to even come back and defend themselves.
Yeah, and it looks like from a historical standpoint, there's a lot of questions regarding this chapter. At least the order of this chapter. You read the book of Josephus. He has things in a little different order. A lot of people are struggling to find the actual location of Ai, this particular place, because the way that we're about to discuss this is they're like a mountain town, or they're up in a little a place. And so all the historians and all the people throughout the years have been like trying to find exactly where this was. And there's a lot of questions about where exactly this was. Okay, 8. And it shall be when you capture the city that you burn the city with fire, do according to the word of Yahuwah. See, I have commanded you. And Yahushua sent them out, and they went to lie in ambush and stayed between Beth El and Ai on the west side of Ai. But Yahushua stayed that night in the midst of the people. And Yahushua rose up early in the morning and inspected the people, and went up, he and the elders of Yisrael, before the people of Ai. And all the soldiers who were with him went up and drew near, and came before the city and camped on the north side of Ai, with the valley between them and Ai. And he took about 5,000 men. I think it was, maybe I got it mixed up. And he took about 5,000 men and placed them in ambush between Beth El and Ai on the west side of the city. See how many people in the last chapter went up. Make sure I was on that, will you? So they stationed the people, all the army that was on the north of the city, and his rear guard on the west of the city, and Yahushua went that night into the midst of the valley.
2,000 or 3,000.
2,000 or 3,000. Okay, so for the last chapter, guys, it was 2,000 or 3,000. This chapter is 30,000 and then a 5,000. So we're talking like a 35,000 man versus 2,000 or 3,000 from the last chapter.
Do you think this is Josh's way of correcting his mistake from last time, where he was
Well,
like,
I think it was the key. I think Yahuwah's never given the least amount of casualties.
Well, I think it would have been, had they not been out of covenant last time, that 2,000 or 3,000 could have defeated this, right?
It's probably a small enough town where, it's like 1 beats 10, so there's probably like 30,000
And
people.
we've seen this before, where Yahuwah is with his people, and so it's different. Okay, 14. And it came to be, when the sovereign of Ai saw it, that the men of the city hastened and rose up early and went out against Yisrael to battle, he and all his people, at an appointed place before the desert plain. But he did not know there was an ambush against him behind the city. This would be a good thing, right? I mean, this would be hard to figure out unless, and this is the thing. These guys were all creeping here at night. So you had 30,000 people sneaking around at night, and not one of them was exposed with a light or something of the sort, or the people in the town were like, hey, man, there's a bunch of people creeping out here. 30,000 of them. There's tons. What do you get from this, Eli?
I'm trying to figure it out here.
It looks like a bunch of arrows going in various things. What are they?
So I think I can kind of understand it. So these guys of I and one here go out. I can't zoom in. Whoops.
Amazing. Okay.
All right. So at one here, the guys of I, they go out and go fight Yisrael, which is the blue arrow right there, which is the first set of Yisrael. And then the guys from the back, once they're all out, the guys from the back here in number 5 go in and fight them. I'm not sure about the rest.
I think I don't know. I think the ones at the top are like doubling back. I don't know what these arrows are. These are terrible arrows. Terrible example. Okay, 15. And Yahushua and all Yisrael let themselves be beaten before them and fled by the way of the wilderness. And all the people who were in Ai were called together to pursue them. And they pursued Yahushua and were drawn away from the city. So there was not a man left in Ai or Beth El who did not go after Yisrael. And they left the city open and pursued Yisrael. And Yahuwah said to Yahushua, stretch out the spear that is in your hand toward Ai, for I give it into your hand. And Yahushua stretched out the spear that he had in his hand toward the city, and the ambush rose up quickly from their place. And they ran at the stretching out of his hand, and entered the city, and took it, and hastened to burn the city with fire. Okay, do you think he had to hold the spear up the whole time? Is this a Moshe holding the
I
hands
don't think
thing?
so. I think he's aimed
I
at
guess
it.
it's more like a signifier of like go.
Charge?
Yeah.
Charge! Okay. Yahushua stretched out the spear that he had in his hand toward the city, and the ambush rose up quickly from their place. And they ran out at the stretching out of his hand, and entered the city, and took it, and hastened to burn the city with fire. And the men of Ai looked behind them, and saw the smoke of the city rising to the Shamayim. And there was no power in them to flee this way or that way. For the people who had fled to the wilderness turned back on the pursuers. For when Yahushua and all Yisrael saw that the ambush had captured the city, and that the smoke of the city went up, they turned back and smote the men of Ai. The others also came out of the city against them, so they were in the midst of Yisrael, some on this side and some on that side. And they smote them until none were left, and none had escaped. But the sovereign of Ai they caught alive, and brought him to Yahushua. And it came to be, when Yisrael ended slaying all the inhabitants of Ai in the field, in the wilderness where they pursued them, when they had all fallen by the edge of the sword until they were consumed, that all the Israelites returned to Ai, and smote it with the edge of the sword. And it came to be, that all who fell that day, both men and women, were 12,000, all men of Ai. So that's a lot of people, right? Because there's 30,000 people that advanced it. I mean, there's really no help when you're like 2 to 1 in this city of Ai. So, any questions, comments, anyone?
No. I mean, I still like that as a little bit excess amount, but maybe it's good to have that many people when you're fighting a little tiny city. Maybe this city was really good at what they did.
I think this is like Josh's way of like not underestimating Ai this time. And he's like,
Do you think he? Well, I mean, I don't think he underestimated him last time. I think he underestimated his people. I mean, he. In fact, that was the problem. That's why he was so. He started weeping and tearing his clothes and crying and stuff because he didn't understand. He did not know why he got smoked when all of a sudden, prior to this, they were able to take out the Jericho and everything. Okay, 26. And Yahushua did not draw back his hand with which he stretched out the spear until he had put all the inhabitants of Ai under the ban. You guys all missed it, and you've read this several times. And I missed it, because I've read this several times, and I thought about this before, and now here we are, getting exposed on our own reading. Okay, so this Yahushua did the Moshe with his hands, and that was the question, but there it is. Now the question is, how long did he have his hand up there with the spear stretched out?
Honestly, I don't think that long. 2 to 1, I mean, this shouldn't be
more than a couple hours.
Can you keep your hand up in the air for a couple hours?
Or if you rest on a tree branch.
Haven't I tried this with you guys before?
Well, we need both hands straight up. This one said he just has to hold the spear out. I mean, wait, what if it's
That's
like,
even worse.
What if it's like that? What if he's holding it on the ground like this?
He said he was holding it. I don't know. Well, I mean, that would be different.
He stretched out the spear, but it's like, it doesn't say he's raised up off the ground or he's having to lift it. It could just be resting on the ground as well with him.
All right. Well, we'll see. We'll have to ask him. If we make the kingdom, we're going to have to ask Yahushua with this one. Okay.
Very specific argument answer we need.
Yeah, we do. We have a lot of little questions. Only the livestock and the spoil of that city, Yisrael took his booty for themselves according to the word of Yahuwah, which he had commanded Yahushua. So, Jericho, nobody gets anything, and Yahuwah stocks up. The second round, all the Israelites stock up. And so had the last dude...
Man, he had to wait a few days.
All he had to do was just wait just a little bit, and he would probably had a lot more than his little gold and his little silk from wherever it was. Okay, 28. And Yahushua burned Ai and made it a heap forever, a ruin to this day. And it could be, because nobody actually knows where it is. Nobody actually knows, so it could very well be true. It is a ruin to this day. And he hanged the sovereign of Ai on a tree until evening. Okay? Why did he leave him until evening?
Because that's the command. They're not supposed to have bodies on the
Right.
sundown.
What is the Torah command?
Not to leave the dead corpse overnight.
Yeah, overnight. You cut him down. We kill him. We hang him. We use the ropes. We use the rocks, but we don't leave them there. We're not savages, right? We just simply hang them and use rocks to chuck at their head, but we're not savages. We don't want them to be eaten by the birds. 29. And at sunset, Yahushua commanded that they should take his corpse down from the tree and throw it at the entrance of the gate of the city and raise over it a great heap of stones to this day. So that homeboy was rotting under some rocks for a bit. And Yahushua built an altar to Yahuwah Elohim of Yisrael in Mount Ayal, as Moshe, the servant of Yahuwah, had commanded the children of Yisrael, as it is written in the book of the Torah of Moshe, an altar of unhewn stones over which no man has wielded iron. And they offered on it burnt offerings to Yahuwah and slaughtered peace offerings. Now, I kind of got something, because over the years we've always talked about this, right? The iron. Why can't a piece of iron touch that stone that is this particular stone, right? Right? We've talked about it, right? And we didn't really have an answer to it, but I kind of think I got it. I think what they're talking about on these things is that the rocks that they're chiseling out with are not from like a hoe that you used to kill somebody with, right? Mm-hmm. Like the metal is not a piece of metal that you've used in a weapon of war. So that what you're building with altars and things of this nature, it's not on Kodesh. It's not the tool. It's not like you go and hewn out rocks with your fingers It's that you don't use a weapon of war that has been defiled with blood of the enemy or blood of something on that. Now, that's just a guess. I don't know. Does that make any sense to you guys?
Yeah, I mean, that sounds right to me.
That's what I came up with this week. I'm like, that makes a little more sense than what we were trying to figure out before that. Okay, 32. And there, in the presence of the children of Yisrael, he wrote on the stones a copy of the Torah of Moshe, which he had written. That goes to lead. How big is this? How big is this thing? How small can he write? And how much of this did he write? Are we talking Torah commands? Are we talking the entire? What are we talking about when these guys write
the
this?
Torah of Moshe. I mean,
It tells you kind of what he wrote.
And in the well, it does say it in the presence of the children of Israel, which means that at some point he wrote for a while.
They were there for a year. So.
Yeah, they were there for a while. I mean, number one is he himself writing this? Are they having scribes write this? Is he reading it? Is it just the act of him sitting there writing this? Everybody's watching him. That he writes the entire Torah out. How many times his fingers cramped? How many times did he have to break? Right? Did he? What's this process look like? Did this happen? I don't know. More questions that we have. Okay, 33. And all Yisrael, the sojourner as well as the native, with their elders and officers and judges, stood on either side of the ark before the Kohanim, the Levites, who bore the ark of the covenant of Yahuwah. Half of them were in front of Mount Gerizim, and half of them in the front of Mount Ival, as Moshe the servant of Yahuwah had commanded before, that they should barak the people of Yisrael. Now I found something very interesting here. At the beginning it said, and all Yisrael, the sojourner as well as the native. Now this leads a lot of people. We have groups of people like the Black Hebrews. The Black Hebrews are these people out there that are even more wild than most religious wacky people. Now the Black Jews will say if you're not black, you ain't gonna make it in, and you white, you definitely ain't gonna make it in.
You're white, you're Esau.
Yeah, you Esau. But very clearly, right here, it says the people that were a part of Yisrael were sojourners, the journeyers, the people that were not from Yisrael, as well as the native. So we had a mixed group. So for those of you that are saying, oh, you got to be a blood-born Jew, or you got to be out of the Golan Heights Peninsula or something of the sort, wherever you say you got to be from, that's not true. It is very clear that you can join in the covenant wherever you're at simply by keeping the laws, statutes, and the commandments, picking your tribe, and being a part of Yisrael. 34. And afterward he read all the words of the Torah, the berakah, and the cursings, according to all that is written in the book of the Torah. Same day, next night, next week?
I think same time.
The same day?
Same day.
So he wrote the entire Torah in one day, and then read the entire Torah in one day.
I think this is important for the children of Israel because they just watched themselves get cursed, killed, and they're like, it's probably someone probably confused to what's going on. So he's reminding them that this is their guidebook. This is their
This
command.
is all one day, though.
I don't think so.
What if he wrote it out while he was saying it?
Even if so somebody writing this out, I mean, that I guess it depends on what it is. We have it condensed to the Torah commands. I don't think the Torah commands are exactly the Torah of Moshe, per se.
It could have been the first 20 that he was given on the mount. He was writing on the stones. It could
You
be
think it was only the
like the first,
it's the 10, it's Exodus 20,
yeah,
Devarim.
Yeah, it could be the first. It could be the first.
Exodus
10.
20,
Yeah.
10 Commandments. Maybe that could be it. But it says all the words of the Torah, and then it says also the berakah and the cursings. Now we don't get in Exodus 20. We don't get blessings and curses, right? I mean, we don't. That's in
later.
Deuteronomy.
Deuteronomy 28 is like the biggest one.
Yeah, the biggest one is. I mean, we hear it all throughout scriptures, right? Blessings and cursings. You'll either
And
be blessed or
I
cursed.
think he's doing this all in one day because he's like, we're not successful. We got rid of the sin in our camp. The people did not follow the commands through. And so he's reminding the people that these are the commands. This is the commands. This is what's going to get you blessed. This is what's going to get you cursed. Stop getting us cursed.
Yeah, it's probably one day. I mean, it might just maybe the Hebrew writing is a little bit easier than our English spelling. 35. There was not a word of all that Moshe had commanded which Yahushua did not read before all the assembly of Yisrael, with the women and the little ones and the sojourners who accompanied them. Now we got to think this last thing through. It says there's not a word that of all Moshe had commanded that he did not read before the assembly.
This is not this. I don't think he's going to write the stories, right? Where they're all through
Right.
Mount Evil. This is going to be the commands. He's going to read off the commands.
So he read this. This might be 7 years. This might be a Sukkot. If he's reading
It's 7 years.
It's that-
We just met. We had a timeline, or we're in the 7th
Maybe
year.
it is the 7th year here, and he's doing Sukkot. He's like,
Oh, 7 days.
He's reading
This
the
could be
Torah.
7 days.
He's reading the Torah before all the
This
congregation.
could be Sukkot, huh? Maybe. Okay. Well, we don't know. If any of you guys know, stick it in the chat. We'll,
Something also important for this is that other translations did not have these final last verses here where he wrote the Torah, and then especially in the Greek they took all that out and they put it in Joshua 9.
Yeah, there's a lot of discrepancies, not discrepancies, but there's a lot of things between the Septuagint, between the LXX versions of all of this stuff. A lot of stuff.
And I think that reduces greatly the significance of why he's reading the Torah, right? Because of the situation with Achan and with the breaking of the Torah and why him writing it. If he just went off and recited it again, it just seems like, okay, he's just reading to the people. But if he reads it after this victory, after the other huge incident, it kind of reinforced that their Torah is what needs to be followed.
Yeah. All right, so after the defeat of Ai due to sin, Yahushua 7, Yahuwah tells Yehoshua, do not be afraid. This is just you and me, kid. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. What does this reveal about Yahuwah's character towards his people when we repent and remove sin? How can we apply this encouragement in our own second chances today when facing repeated struggles or past failures?
If you're walking correctly, there is no need for fear. There is no room for fear. You have Yahuwah on your side.
Yeah, and that is a great point, because those in the religious system, those who are living in sin and they don't care that they're living in sin, this is a huge problem, and it is something that we don't get second chances at the end when we take that last breath. There's nowhere in scriptures that we have a second chance. We don't know that. The only religion that gives us a second chance is Buddhism and Mormonism, and you can be baptized as a dead person, as a dead soul. You can be baptized by a good Mormon, and they'll save your soul. And Buddhist, you'll just keep coming back and do it over until you get it done right. And then you'll go on to the next happy land or wherever they go. All right, so the point on this one is, here's this. The ambush required patience. The 30,000 men lay in wait all night and stayed ready. What does this teach about spiritual warfare and waiting on Yahuwah's timing? How can we cultivate readiness and endurance in modern waiting seasons? Prayer, Torah study, trials, without growing weary.
Everything comes with its time. Everything comes. Yahuwah oftentimes says wait, and then you just wait. You just get ready for the moment. You just get ready for the moment. It is yes instead of wait.
Yeah. All right, let's get into our final thing. We are into Matthew, chapter 3. And so here we are into this. Cade, you are going to be our journeyman for the story time. So give us a quick breakdown of Matthew 1, 2, and...
So we start off with the genealogy of Yahushua's mother and Yahushua's father. We get Joseph, we get Mary, and Mary has Yahushua, her son, the promised king, the promised savior of the world. And he already starts off in danger. He's born, and it's immediately danger. Herod wants to take out all the children, wants to take out all the boys that were recently born. All that are 2 and below are going to be killed, so they move off to Egypt. They run to Egypt until Yahuwah says it's time to come back. Then when he comes back, they come to live in the land of Galilee. They live in the area of Nazareth, and that was kind of like a ghetto town. Nobody really liked Nazareth. That was a place.
Armpit.
Yeah, the Jews did not like that very much at all.
Okay, and so here we are. This is an incredible chapter as well. This is a lot to take in. Let's get to it. And in those days, 𝐤𝐄𝐄 the Immerser, John the Baptist, came proclaiming in the wilderness of Yehuda and saying, repent, for the reign of the Shamaim has come near. For this is he who was spoken of by the Navi Yeshayahu, saying, a voice of one crying in the wilderness, prepare the way of Yahuwah, make his path straight. And 𝐤𝐄𝐄 had a garment of camel's hair and a leather girdle around his waist, and his food was locusts and wild honey. Then Yerushalayim and all Yehuda and all the country around the Yarden went out to him, and they were immersed by him in the Yarden, confessing their sins. And so in the river, in the Jordan River, we have the immersion, John the Baptist, as they call him, the one who is the least dressed, the least fed, and the most knowledgeable amongst those back in that day. And according to Messiah, he needs to be, if we're going to make the kingdom, even John the Baptist is lesser than those who make the kingdom. And I think I may have misquoted that a little bit, but the point Messiah was making is that to make the kingdom, we have to be like John the Baptist, 𝐤𝐄𝐄 and the Immerser. We have to have his spirit, that we are doing the kinds of things in him. And what we see in him is, he wasn't out drinking. He wasn't out like living it up. He lived in a real humble abode. You know, when you read the Apocrypha and you read about his birth and his dad and his mom, and the way he had to be hustled out and had to be hidden, and then ended up his dad was a priest. His dad was killed at the altar, and so there's just tons and tons of prophecy and all the stuff that is going there. Verse 7. And seeing many of the Pharisees and Sadducees coming to his immersion, he said to them, brood of adders, who has warned you to flee from the coming wrath? Now, this is a bad thing, right? Brood of adders, brood of vipers. What they do is when these things are born, I guess they eat through their mother. And so the mother dies to hatch these things. And so being called a brood of vipers, adders, it's not a good thing, right? These guys were very much upset about this whole thing. So he says, brood of adders, who has warned you to flee from the coming wrath? Bear therefore fruits worthy of repentance, and do not think to say to yourselves, we have Abraham, our father. For I say to you that Elohim is able to raise up children to Abraham from these stones. Now this is he's kind of repeating the same words Moshe said. Moshe was very, very clear that our Creator could raise up his own people out of the stones. And this is a huge verse right here. This is maybe a game changer for anybody with eyes to see and ears to hear. And the axe is already laid to the root of the trees. Every tree then which does not bear good fruit is cut down and thrown into the fire. Okay, what does this mean, gentlemen? What does this mean? The axe is already laid to the root of the trees.
We are the trees. We need to produce good fruit. If we aren't producing good fruit, we will be cut down. We are the ones who will be sent to hell.
Yeah, and I mean, when it says that the trees are cut down, this is not a welcome in, right? Welcome in, O faithful ones. You're cut down and thrown into the fire. Now, a lot of people don't see that we are the trees and that literally he is prophesying our demise or our ability to make it in the kingdom to come, because we are there to bear fruit. Now, you have the religious system that says works will not save you, but that's quite contrary to what the scripture says, because works very clearly saves you. The Christians will pick up the rocks, they will stone you, they will throw you, they will drown you in their baptism booth if you say things of this nature, right? Because that goes against the Christian religion. They don't have works because they don't have a Torah. When you don't have a Torah, you don't have a moral compass, and if you don't have a moral compass, then by default, Hasatan is your daddy. And that's not saying that you're evil, it's just that you don't understand good because you don't know the Torah. 11. I indeed immerse you in water unto repentance, but he who is coming after me is mightier than I, whose sandals I am not worthy to bear. He shall immerse you in the Ruach HaKodesh and fire. His winnowing fork is in his hand, and he shall thoroughly cleanse his threshing floor and gather his wheat into the storehouse, but the chaff he shall burn with unquenchable fire. Then Yahushua came from Galilee to Yochanan at the Yarden to be immersed by him. Now, I would say this is probably like not the same day. It was probably the same time, month, maybe. But, scriptures is hard to figure out, right? You have one thing where it just goes, and then it goes into then Yahushua came from Galilee to Yochanan at the Yarden to be immersed by him. But Yochanan was hindering him, saying, I need to be immersed by you, and you come to me? But Yahushua answering said to him, permit it now, for thus it is fitting for us to fill all righteousness. Then he permitted him. And having been immersed, Yahushua went up immediately from the water, and see the Shamayim were open. And he saw the Ruach of Yahuwah descending like a dove, and coming upon him, and see, a voice out of the Shamayim saying, this is my Bane, the beloved, in whom I delight. So there we have, this is a witness, right? In scriptures, these are witness statements. When you have an apostle, or when you have scriptures, when you have these things, and it says, this is my son, right? This is the son. And you have all of the apostles that say, you are the son, right? When we come into these man-made traditions of Trinity, of things that we take the divinity of our Creator and take the presence of our Messiah and we make them the same individual, it confuses doctrine. It confuses absolutely everything in that. And so we have to make sure that we are interpreting scriptures for what they are. And there's nowhere in scriptures that the Trinity can exist. You can take a verse and you can come to an understanding with a single verse and go, this is what this one verse must mean. But when you have the biblical hermeneutics, which is a word that all of the biblical people in school use, which means that whatever is established at the beginning of the book must be at the end of the book. You can't say the children of Israel are a bunch of flowers when they're rocks, right? It's not like that. It's what it says. And so when the Creator says, I am one, that means the truth. And that's exactly what it is. All right, things for thought. It's the final thing, and we're going to do it. Jaden, what you got?
You have notes?
I got the notes, yep. In those days, Yochanan the Immerser came proclaiming in the wilderness of Yahudah, saying, repent, for the reign of the heavens has come near. What does true repentance mean in Yochanan's message, and why is it essential preparation for the reign of Yahuwah? How can we actively repent and turn to Yahuwah's Torah in our lives today?
Well, if we turn away from our Torahlessness, stop breaking sin, stop breaking
sin? We want to break sin.
Stop breaking Torah, and turn back to the Torah. Because the people, when he was talking about the people, these people started going outside of Torah. They created their own laws. They became very wicked. They were greedy. They were taking bribes. So he wants these people to turn away from their wicked ways and go back to the Torah only.
How does it work today, kid? I mean, if you had John the Baptist coming and prepare the way, what would we make of it today? How do we interpret what happened then? How do we interpret now?
We would start following Torah. We would get out of religion. We would get out of the system of the world, and we would start following Torah.
And repentance is repentance, right? Repentance isn't the get out of sin free card. But the Christians have, when it's like when they pray to Jesus and ask him for the sin. Repentance means that you do not return to what you have done. It doesn't mean you're perfect. It doesn't mean you're not going to slip and fall and bump your head. It means that you're not going to be okay returning to the things that are against the Torah. And that's why it's very important that we do this. Yochanan described the coming one clearing the threshing floor, gathering wheat and burning chaff with unquenchable fire. How does this picture of final separation and judgment motivate the Kodesh living? What areas of our lives need winnowing so we stand as good grain before Yahuwah? Boys.
Can you repeat that question again?
Anyone else?
That was confusing to me.
Okay, when John the Immerser, Yochanan the Immerser, was talking about basically clearing the threshing floor, gathering the wheat, burning the chaff is what Messiah Yahushua was going to do. How does this picture of final separation and judgment motivate our current living?
Well, we would want to motivate us to follow Torah and be the ones that aren't get up in the fire.
Preparing the way would be like spreading the message, spreading the word, saying Yahushua was coming back.
Yeah, and when we hear things like this, that the end times is going to be gathering the wheat, burning the chaff, for those who don't know what that is, the heads of the wheat are the only things that are edible inside of the entire structure. The rest of it is edible by cows. You can give them straw, but it doesn't have the nutrients. And so when you are burning the chaff, you are burning the little bits of flakes, and you're burning the stuff that goes away from the little grains of seed. You're keeping the grains, but you're burning all the other useless stuff that doesn't work out. And it burns hot. It absolutely burns without a shadow of doubt. Very, very hot. All right, last question. After immersion, the Shamayim opens. The Spirit of Yahuwah descends like a dove, and a voice says, "This is my beloved Son in whom I delight." How does this affirmation strengthen Yahushua's ministry? When and how do we need to remember Yahuwah's delight in his Son and in us as we walk in obedience?
Well, it strengthens that. I mean, all the people there, did they hear it? I believe they would have heard it, right? That he said, not Yahushua said, "This is my Son whom I'm well pleased, my beloved Son." I mean, they would say that, okay, this is obviously the Messiah.
Right. Now, if we all heard a voice out of the Shamayim right now and go, Jaden, I'm not well pleased. What would you think on this?
Well, I'm doing something wrong clearly, and I better get my life fixed.
Right. And so when we hear these things that this is my Son in whom I delight, what do we make of Yahuwah? Did Yahushua come to change the laws? If he came to bring a Christian religion, and the Christian religion goes against the Torah of our Creator, is our Creator going to delight in his Son destroying the Torah?
No.
No, not at all. He would be very disappointed.
Yep. And so we have witness after witness after witness on all these things that we do this. All right, Jubs, let's bless our brothers and sisters, and then we will set you guys free. And again, sorry we can't go live anymore. Sometimes it seems like the truth hurts a little too much on these platforms, and we can't say certain things or different things at all, and so we have to be careful. And so we're here to celebrate our Creator. We're here to celebrate His Torah. We're here to have a day of rest. And so what next week will look like is we will be doing our reading in the morning. It will still be on 11 o'clock. It's just not going to be as live as it is. We're going to be in the chat room with y'all, but it's not going to be live. So we hope that'll work. And if not, I guess we'll all hop over to Rumble for the 5 of us that are out there, and we'll go from there. So Jade, will you please bless our brothers and sisters?
Yehovah barak you and guard you. Yehovah make his face shine upon you and show favor to you. Yehovah lift his face upon you and give you peace.
All right, fam. Here we are. Let's 3 songs for you, and then we're going to set you free.
They stand before the throne with hands raised high. Master, Master, in your name we prophesy. But the King replies with a gaze like a sword. Depart from me, you workers of lawlessness, ignore. What is this lawlessness that seals the final fate? The first 5 books, the foundation, the gate, Bereshit to Devarim, etched in stone and in heart. Are these commands timeless or just a fading part? Depart from me, you workers of lawlessness, who cast aside my Torah and abandon righteousness. The Torah stands eternal for Israel and the stranger. One law, one people, through every age and danger. Have you read the words that Yahushua had? Do the first 5 books still echo what the King has spelled? Search the scriptures, let the questions arise. Is lawlessness freedom or the deadliest disguise? Yahuwah thundered from Sinai, not for a season alone. These are my statutes for the blood-bought and the unknown, the stranger among you, the sojourner in the land. Same command, same covenant, written by His hand. Like a warning bell throughout your generations, can modern ears tell? If the law was only for then, not for today, why does the judge still turn workers away? Depart from me, you workers of lawlessness, who cast aside my Torah and abandon righteousness. The Torah stands eternal for Israel and the stranger. One law, one people, through every age and danger. Have you read the words that Yahushua held? Do the first 5 books still echo what the King has spelled? Search the scriptures, let the questions arise. Is lawlessness freedom or the deadliest disguise? Yahushua declared, I did not come to destroy the law. Not one jot or tittle till Shamayim and earth withdraw. no standard, then what did he mean when you warned of the workers? He's never known. Depart from me, you workers of lawlessness, who cast aside my Torah and abandon righteousness. Hey, 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 the Torah stands eternal for Israel and the stranger. One law, one people, through every age and danger. Have you read the words that Yahushua upheld? Do the first 5 books still echo what the King has spelled? Search the scriptures, let the questions arise. Is lawlessness freedom or the deadliest disguise? Ask yourself honestly as you open the page, does forever mean forever or just for that age? The first 5 books, are they burden or life? Do they guard the heart from the edge of the knife? Yahuwah changes not, his word stands firm and true. One law for all time, for me and for you. The choice stands before us, the question cuts deep. Will you walk in his Torah, or here depart in your sleep? Depart from me, or draw near in the way. The Torah of Yahuwah still shines bright today. Search the scriptures, beloved, let truth have its say. Is lawlessness life, or the path that leads away? Inhale the invisible, the silent decree. Yahuwah's first gift, no charge, no fee. From nostrils to lungs, the rush starts the war. Oxygen ripped to the blood cells, fueling the core. Red rivers awaken, each cell shouts alive. 1 trillion tiny soldiers in the body that thrives. No factory forged this, no engineer's plan. Just the breath of the Creator sustaining the man. Every breath is Torah, inhale and obey. Loyalty rides on the wind of each day. He gave us the air, the spark in the vein, endless reasons to serve. Break free from the chains, see the colors blaze, hear the thunder roar. Walk, skip, and flip in this incredible soul. Yahuwah's own image, breathe in his praise. One more breath, another chance to obey. Exhale the old lies, the prisoner done away. Inhale his commands like the dawn of the day. The cross couldn't kill it, the statutes still flow like oxygen binding where the lifeblood must go. We're fearfully wired, a masterpiece machine. Eyes that paint sunsets, ears catching the unseen. Legs that can sprint or leap into the blue, all powered by wind that Yahuwah blew. Think of the clever design in each lung's design. Alveoli like gateways where the ruach aligns. Carbon dioxide out, pure life rushing in. A constant reminder of the war that we win. They say the law's nailed, but your heartbeat replies. While I breathe, I will walk where my father advises. From Autumn's first gas to the remnant today, every inhale screams loyalty, there's no other way. Chance to obey. So flip in the freedom, skip through his word, walk in the statutes that the breath has conferred. The gift keeps on giving, no matter the cost. Each oxygen transfer says you're never lost. Built like no other, in his image we stand, moving by a sovereign hand. The reason is endless, from lungs to the throne. Serve Yahuwah fully till the last breath is known. Every breath is Torah, inhale and obey. Loyalty rides on the wind of each day. He gave us the air, the spark in the vein, endless reasons to serve, forever proclaim Yahuwah's own image, breathing his praise. One more breath, hallelujah, obey. Hey. Beyond the maps that the weak has drawn lies a wilderness only you have known. Thirsty places where my spirit wanders, waiting for the manna you've sown. Lead me deeper, Yahuwah, on this Shabbat trail, through the wild unknown where my striving fails. In the silence of soul, your voice prevails. Kodesh wilderness, where your presence hails. Cacti shadows hide the living water, mirages of success dissolve in heat. But you are the cloud and the pillar guiding, turning barren ground beneath my feet. Lead me deeper, Yahuwah, on this Shabbat trail, through the wild unknown where my striving fails. In the silence of soul, your voice prevails. Kodesh wilderness,
presence hail. This inner journey is a rehearsal for a steam where the Lamb will lead us to springs of life. Every Shabbat carves a path through the desert, preparing our souls for the end of strife. Lead me deeper, Yahuwah, on the Shabbat trail, through the wild unknown where my striving fails. In the silence of soul, your voice prevails. Kodesh wilderness, where your presence hails.
All right, beautiful family, we love you tremendously. Thank you for spending this time with us. May Yahuwah bless you and keep you. May his light forever shine on you. May the Torah be everything in your life. May Messiah Yahushua be the tool you use for everything and the king that you serve. And may you guys have a great Shabbat. May we all meet again next Shabbat. Shabbat shalom, guys.
Shabbat shalom.